Close your eyes. I've got to move everything. Make sure I don't do anything dumb along the way. The buttons on the side of the iPhone are really great until you accidentally touch them when you put them in a tripod. Okay, so I'm going to put you right there. And as you can see, there's a wall there, so I can't, get behind it and get it set up. So we have to do this. Oh, I need to open up my laptop. Hello, hello. I was prepared and yet unprepared because, there's always things you can't do until you can do them. Hey, look. Hi, Robin. I put a poll at the top. Oh, I see people have found the poll. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Pat. Hi, Ellen. Okay, now that I can see, I can move this. It worked last time. You guys enjoyed it, so we'll do it again. I just have to wait for the laptop to catch up so I could see what I am doing. Pretty sure we need to lower this down. Come on, come on. And then might not even have to zoom in. Maybe a little. Technology and my lack of ability. Oh, let's bring the chair over. I'll pretend that's me. I have space over here to do the cutting, and the ironing is next door. Laptop is all the way over there. Good morning, good morning. I have to have the little lid up here, so there's nothing I can do about that. Oh, look, that might work. So it cuts off the top of my head, right? What do we care? What do we care? What do we care? Once I figure it out, I'll make markings on my tripod so I know exactly where to put it all the time. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Beck. Oh, you're so welcome. Everyone that wants a quilt should be able to do it easily without having to worry, about like struggling with rules and stuff. I don't have the microphone on again because you guys are just right there. So let me know now or in the replay if we need a microphone. Okay, so I feel like we need a little bit more of this area over here, right? Maybe that'll work. Oh, to have a space that I can just record in and keep set up all. Oh, look, we can sew and cut now. Nice, nice, nice. Hi, Sandra. Oh, you don't have use of your legs. But it's great nowadays, right? Because the machines can do everything right here without having to use a foot pedal. I've also seen people put the foot pedal on a table, whether they have use of their legs or not, and sew with the foot pedal up here and just pedal with their hand. I've also seen them sit like on the floor with the machine on the floor, all hunched over, using the foot pedal. That one I don't understand. It looks very, very painful to me. So I hope everyone is having a great weekend so far. I know here in the Phoenix, Arizona area, I have to clean my glasses, hold on. I can't see. I know in the Phoenix, Arizona area here, we're gonna see some 70s this week. I have been frozen since, I don't know, Thanksgiving. This Florida girl is not handling this cold weather. It's in the low to mid 80s back home in Florida right now in Cape Coral. I am missing the heat and the humidity. It rained for like 3 days here on and off, and today I can see that the humidity is just starting to leave. It's still a little bit moist out there. Oh, I've missed that humidity. It feels so good on the skin and the sinuses. Hey, Jody's here. You're driving home. Jody, eventually there's a poll at the top for Jody and everybody of the chat. With summertime coming, gotta put the rod away, hold on. With summertime coming, I thought maybe it might be nice to change the day or the time of the live stream, because when we start hitting spring and summertime, everyone's gonna go out into their garden. Pacola Chase, hi. No, I didn't. Jody sent me an email. Jody, thank you so much. I haven't responded to your email yet. She sent it and told me that there is at the fairgrounds, there's a quilt show there. I have to get hooked up with the fairgrounds so that I can get emails and stuff. It's this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have not made it there, and I really don't think I'm going to make it today or tomorrow. But it's only a half an hour away versus the airport being over an hour away, so that is great. And it looks like what I would like to do is to go see those things. Plus, if it's the fairgrounds, I love to go to country fairs or county fairs. They're fun. All right. As usual, Robin's having an asthma day. I just used my inhaler, so I might sound a little weird. Let's see, make sure we got everything. Sandra's in Georgia. Georgia weather should be getting nice now, too. I have figured out, we'll probably have to repeat this, and sorry if I'm shaking the table because you guys are sitting on it, but I went and I figured out the size of the quilt I'm going to make. So what I did is I figured out the size of my mattress. I bought mine on Amazon so I could look it up, but I had a tape measure in here, so I measured it. My mattress is about 52 by 72. It's a double or a full size. And then the drop on my mattress is 12 inches, so I wanted to at least cover the mattress. So I figured those numbers in. So it looks like dividing it by my 9-inch block, because it's 9.5 plus taking out the seam allowances, it looks like I'm going to need 90 blocks. Yeah. Well, Jody, I'm trying to decide if we should go back to the 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, or should we do something during the week? We could do like one live stream can be, I'm talking to the computer, my apologies. One live stream could be during the week, and one live stream can be on the weekend, but that gets confusing. So I don't know if we should just like stick with Saturday and do it later in the day. That way everyone on the East Coast, that they're all coming in from doing their gardening and stuff like that. I don't know. I thought we would just chat about it a little bit. I mean, it's 11 my time. I don't know about your time, but you got to remember we're also going to have daylight savings in what, like April, and it doesn't change here. So my body has been so messed up. 1 second. Doesn't affect you guys, but I can smell the litter box, and I needed to help the situation out a second. 11 my time is 6 p.m. in the UK. Yes, yeah, we were doing it at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock before, and I'm trying to think because 11 o'clock is fine for me, but I'm also finding that I'm scrambling a little bit more, and then the whole rest of the day is just like doing chores and picking up after the live stream, and then I have no day left, which is fine. It's just fine. But some people are like, they're struggling to get here, and then other people they're having to catch the replay, and I know we're never going to make it good for the UK people. I'm sorting my beginning non-squares, as you can see. So I know, we're not going to make it good for everybody, but... Ellen, are you not sure you want to welcome Deborah with the question mark? Where'd Deborah go? Did you make there? Oh, there she is. Oh, there's Deborah. So, I saw it. I didn't see you, Deborah. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you made it to hang out with us for the first time. I know my mouse is not wanting to work. I know we have a lot of new people that have joined, darn mouse, joined in the YouTube channel. There we go. Sorry, technology. Welcome, welcome, Deborah Reed. First time here with us. We're so glad you could make it, as I've already said. Now, I am really terrible with the chat, and if I don't see you guys, or if I'm rude and I'm looking over there instead of here, my apologies, because that's just how I am. I try to keep up with the chat, but sometimes it goes too fast and I put my head down and I sew and I miss it. So I apologize. Jody was just in Orlando and it was 40 and oh yeah, it's cold. 40 is cold. But they had that crazy snow and everything up there. 8 inches, 10 inches in Pensacola. They had snowmen on the beach. Of course, the first year we're gone, right? Excuse me. It's crazy. I'm just playing catch up. That's fine, Ellen. I was just like, that looks like something I would do. Good morning, Sandy from California. We're at 11 o'clock. I'm going to go and switch over to back to chatting about the log cabin blocks. I can see your chat over there when I look to the side eye of my right. So if you need me for something, just type it in capital. And my apologies if it takes me a couple times to read it. So I figured out my mattress size with a 12-inch drop on the two sides and the bottom. That means I need 9.33 squares in one direction and 8.44 in another. So I'm just going to do, I rounded up 10 blocks by 9 blocks. So I'm going to make 90 blocks. I think I have 13. So I got a little bit to go. I have to put that in with my blocks so that I remember. I did go through and grab more scraps. The Crafty Godmother sent me all of her lovely scraps, but she was a little low on some yellows and oranges, and I used a lot of them up. And also, instead of having my scraps separated by color, I went and I separated them by the wide strips, the medium strips, and the 2 narrow strips. I also pulled out the solids and these types of fabrics. I left this one on top. I might use it, but I probably won't. So I have these and I have some solids. So I think I could probably make something totally else with those. There's these 2 big stacks here. I might be able to make a little quilt all on its own if I made like 6.5-inch blocks. So this way I want to use the skinnier strips closer to the center so that when I get to the outside, there isn't as much narrow strips. Oh, and I got an ad. Yes, ads are still on, unfortunately. Now, my blocks, for anyone that is just joining us for our little quilt along here. Now, when we do a quilt along, especially during the live stream, we're doing do whatever you want during the live stream, but on the first Saturday of the month, this is what I'm working on. So this is my log cabin block. Oh, nice. YouTube wants to know if I want to upgrade to the premium so I don't get any ads. Yes, YouTube, I would, but if you have to give it to me for free. So I have this, and this is basically what they look like. I'm doing the improv log cabin. Some of you are doing the actual log cabins in different variations. But when I put the wider strips towards the center, I ended up having these narrow bits. So this was a wider strip. Whoops, I just pulled the thread. This was wider, but now it's narrower because I had to trim the blocks. So if I can keep the wider strips on the outside, I'll do better. And sorry about my boo-boo finger, but I have a little cut right across the top. It feels like the old soda cans when you pop them up and you cut it with a piece of metal. It kind of burns like that, so I have to put something on it. So yeah, so I want to go ahead and make it so that I use the narrow in the center. And you can see here, I believe this was the center one possibly. It's not even, so I only have 1 log here and 3 there because that's just how I make log cabins. It's just the way it is. All right. Ellen doesn't mind what time. Yeah, so a lot of people catch the replay, and we may just end up maybe bumping it to the afternoon a little bit. All right, let me bring out my narrow strips. So I'll just work with this stack here. There's no difference between the stacks except the fact that I didn't want them to fall over. And maybe this one has more purple. That's okay. I want to work with the purple one. That'll be fun. We might move it to the afternoon, But I feel like it might be best to keep it. We had them on Fridays before, and that worked, but I don't know. It's kind of nice to try to not change things up too much, but things happen. We'll see. We'll have lots of talks about it. There's some people who wanted, they enjoyed like talking about the rulers and stuff. I don't need a later time, Ellen. It would, I find either way. I just need to get my life together so that I can have everything prepared earlier and not waiting to the last minute. I was doing good. I was doing a lot of things, but I just sometimes I'm Robin and I struggle. Hi, Giovanna. Giovanna says, don't make it any later because it's already late enough for her, right? Oh, 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Thank you, Sandy. This is like, this is the style of scrappy I always do. If someone said make a log cabin block and just have fun, it would always end up being improv, wonky, not even, because my brain and my sewing brain just automatically goes to this. I'm in a different part of the table. I'm usually just a little bit that way. I feel so off balance and confused. I'm good though. So yeah, I don't know. This is just courthouse step, kind of the same thing. Log cabin. Oh, did I just put? Oh, the pink was the center. Okay, we're good. Oh, I can't put pink on pink. I'll put pink on purple because they look good together. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a people pleaser, so I'm always trying to make sure that everyone has what they need, and there's no way we can do it for everybody. But some people like the chit chat we had at the end of the last couple of live streams. Yeah, no, I don't do time changes, so that's going to be really interesting. Let's do this one and this one. Yeah, so I try to make it work for everyone, including myself, but we're never going to do that, right? I can't function very well after 4 or 5 p.m., so we can't do nighttime ones. And then the whole no time change. See, I'm trying to stay neat today. The whole time change not changing for me. It's been making it. I've got enough pink. Let's do some blue. It makes things interesting. I am really looking forward to the spring forward because I'm hoping it's going to reset my brain or something, because I am not a night person normally, but I've been staying up till 12, 1, 2 in the morning and sleeping until like 7, and I'm normally in bed by 10, maybe 11 at the latest, and I'm always up by 5, 5:30. So this whole sleeping in thing has been really weird. I have some short pieces too that I should probably use. Now, knowing that I need 90 blocks, if I make 2 with a yellow and blue center, I'm not going to be too concerned. I was looking, if you see the screen when you first came on while you were waiting for the live to go live, I had all my blocks laid out, and there's several of them that have like the same dark blue or the dark purple or something at the end, the last strip. So it'll be fine. They'll get with 90 blocks, they'll get blended in. I'm just trying not to put like 2 dark colors together or 2 blues as I'm going around. I have already used the same fabric in the same block, not just the same color, which is fine, but I've had like the same yellow in the same block, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. I've already made that mistake. Excuse me. I always feel like I'm reaching in front of you guys, so I have to be polite. Don't forget to stay hydrated, especially if you're in a desert where there's no humidity, or if you're in a humid area and it's hot. You still have to stay hydrated. I'm getting a lot more used to, or I'm getting more used to the Arizona and stuff now, but I still do miss the humidity. I don't. People think I'm crazy because a lot of times when people think about humidity, they only think about those really humid days. You know, how can you go outside? Well, on a humid day, we just don't go outside when it's that bad. When it's really hot here, you just don't go outside. But overall, even like in the winter for you guys, if you're in a cold area, if it gets really cold, you guys just don't go outside when the wind chill is so far below zero. So I just didn't go out on the humid days. But we've been noticing a lot of things here that my son Robbie noticed. If you don't have humidity, you can't see your breath when it gets cold. Isn't that crazy? This has this ruffled edge, this pinked edge here. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see that now. So what I'm doing is I'm putting that on the outside so that when I trim the blocks, that it's always on the outside and I can trim it off. That way I don't have to worry, because this is more of a scalloped than a pinked. And that way, you know, because you're definitely going to lose some of that 1/4 inch in there. Now, it's going to be my quilt, so if it falls apart in 2 years or 10 years, I can easily put it back together. That's not a problem. But I would kind of like to not have to put it back together. So sometimes you'll choose fabrics that are a little bit thinner or easily fall apart when it gets washed a lot, that you didn't realize the quality, because even though it seems tightly woven and you can't see through it and stuff, sometimes fabric just wears out quicker. All right, so I have these two. I think I need to bring this in now. I'm gonna put this pink on. I love this fabric, is one of my favorites in here. I have a lot of favorites, but I like this and I like this. And normally I wouldn't say like this is my style, but I really like it. You always keep an analogic clock at sun time for your cats. Yeah, no, the cats do not care about time changes, do they? My cats, of course, you know, they're great now. They hooked and settled into the no daylight savings time really well, because the time just stays the same. And to them, they do the thing that the medical people tell us humans to do. When you're hungry, you eat, and if you're not hungry, and just because the clock says it's 5 o'clock, you don't have to eat if you're not hungry. So my girls like to eat between 3 and 4, and they have no problem letting me know that at 3:30 they're hungry, whether it's feeding time or not. I try to make them wait till 4. And my daughter's cats, since I feed them, they just see me and they think it's feeding time, which doesn't really work very well. But my daughter, for those of you that have been keeping up, my daughter comes home on Wednesday, and, you know, knock on wood, she's supposed to stop traveling now and stay home. Her store's got another delay, of course, because they always have delays. I'm just trying to find all of my stuff. But there's something wrong with the electrical or something with her store. So they have to do something with the electrical, and it put a delay, and then other things are on time, so I don't know. So this is from the Gypsy Quilter. It's the thread cutter. You can find these all over the place online. There's different brands and everything. The fun thing about this, now I've seen people that are 3D printing this now since it came out. I don't know if they've got like a patent on it, if they were the first people, but there's a blade in here. This one has is this a 45? Then this is a 60, I think. Whatever the large blade is, that's what's in this one here. So you put a used blade or a new blade in, and then it's really safe. You can't get your finger in the slot. So I love that. I show that to you guys all the time. I explain it because there's always someone who hasn't seen it before that asks about it. My iron went to sleep. I have to wait for the iron to warm up. Oh, 9 sun times. So based on the sun. Okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it was really great having her home a lot during the holidays because I feel like the house is kind of settled and adjusted. At least her and I have, so that when she comes home now, it won't be this big exciting thing where, her and I are trying to play catch up and everything. She'll just come home and it'll be like, whatever. I can close my door and not feel like I have to pay attention to her or something. This is interesting because I've got my phone turned so the camera's facing me, and normally when I do Whip It Wednesdays, I have it so the front of it's facing me or the back or whatever, so the regular screen. So I can't see myself, so it's interesting. Not in this one. A smaller blade, you can use it, but the smaller blade comes down so far into this area down here, Giovanna. So you have to really take more time to go all the way down, and the blade kind of shifts around and moves. They did create one. Oh, my scissors fit right in there. They did create one for the 45 millimeter now, so you can buy the smaller version. Someone just sent me this one. So it was one of the first ones. They also come in different colors now too. The Gypsy Quilter color, I believe, is like purple. So almost anything you get from them, their main time they make it is purple. Yeah, I originally had it with just a smaller blade in it. I have a video about using this. You can search on my channel for it. And the person that sent me this said, oh, I didn't realize it took the bigger blades and you don't have any. So they sent me one of the larger blades because I did make it work. It was just a little bit of a struggle. I'm over here ironing just in case you wonder where I disappeared to. I do like to machine iron versus finger press and stuff, each of the rounds. I like it to lay nice and flat. I'm a terrible ironer. I don't follow all the rules. Oh, someone asked, let me bring over something for a minute. Someone had asked about using the strips that could have bias and stuff. So I'll just do it right on here. This is a little dirty. We'll just ignore it. So one of the things I do is it's based on, I think, the iron, because each iron I've had to change up. But I set the seam. And for this first round, because it's so short, I do use the tip of the iron to just push it over. But if I were to have a longer strip, like the next one, this is the longest one, so I'll just use this one. As the strips get longer, I do go for the side of the iron, and I just gently push it over. And I am a scrub. I know in the UK this means something different, but I'm a scrubber. I like to really, go like that with my seams. I've learned that I need to be gentle. With these when the seams get really longer than the iron, if I press like this and it has bias, this part, can you guys see? Back here. This part right here, it'll get a little bump on it because I'll have stretched the fabric by pushing on it. So that's one of the things you want to be careful when dealing with scraps, is you will have the bias, so you have to be careful. So you take it gently like this, push it over a little. You can also, look at me talking like I know what I'm doing with irons, right? You can also take it, I'm trying to figure out where the front square is. Before you do it, you can also, oh, that's hot. You can also take your fingers and just kind of walk it up and give it a little slight press so that it already knows and you got that nice straight line. And then you can go through and press it. Just Get It Done Quilts has a really great tutorial for pressing and ironing and whatever you want to call it, because we iron clothes, but we press our quilt blocks and whatever. I say, you guys know, I say do what works and whatever works for you. Thank you, Giovanna. Where is your diamond quilter zigzag one? It's sitting over there on a shelf in one of my plastic bins, one of my project bins, and it's waiting for me to turn it into a quilt. But I don't have time to make a quilt right now. I have too many other things that have to be done that can take a short amount of time. I need to purchase batting and backing. Did you finish yours, Giovanna? How's yours going? When you press fabric for a log cabin, you're supposed to press away from the center. In the first strip, I don't think it's gonna matter too much, but it's what they say you're supposed to do. Hi, bud girl. Stop for kitty cat pets. She'll go, baby. Okay. So now I need to trim these. If I was in a situation where I had an ad, all right. Whoops. Oh, look, I'm big now. How did I get big? Press the button. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, Giovanna, yours isn't done either. I don't have any of my quilts done. So what I was thinking is, there we go. I was going to get all of my projects moved forward to the quilt stage. And then when I get to a point, I'll just buy a ton of batting and figure out my backing, and then I will just make a bunch. Am I frozen? Am I frozen? Oh no. Hi, Sandy. I think I'm frozen. Oh, I'm back. I managed to freeze myself. Wasn't that so nice of me? Okay. I'm good. Yeah, I was frozen on my screen. I was stuck in a weird. So I'm using that first seam to just make sure everything's lined up. And this is kind of not perfectly straight fabric, because, you know, of course, that's the fabric that I just cut. So then I just go through and I trim. The first round, I don't worry too much. I just kind of trim the sides up neatly. And then the other ones, I might spin it around and pay a little more attention to it. But a log cabin, when I made my crumb blocks for my crumb curtain, they ended up being a log cabin, courthouse steps crossover mixture like thing. But yeah, I don't worry too much about the bias. I've learned from early on how to behave and be really gentle with my blocks and to be careful. I might not be able to, in the past, press my fabric so that I didn't stretch out my blocks. But once I learned that and I learned how to handle the bias and stuff, it just kind of becomes second nature, and you're gentler with your blocks. You can kind of feel if it's biased once you get used to what a biased fabric feels like. But most of the strips that I'm dealing with now in this quilt from Scrappy Godmother, they're all strips, and they're all like with the fabric and stuff. So I'm not having to deal with very much bias. It's really great, like the little metal thing you have, the bench scraper for the kitchen. I just use my ruler to dump everything over in the trash. Close your rotary blade, move everything out of the way, and then we can do the next round. I'm going to stick with using these skinny strips for a little bit more, since we're still early on. I should have got my batting before today, Robin. Why? I need like a roll at this point. I don't have room to store a lot of batting, so I kind of try to watch it on Amazon since I buy the same packages all the time. Amazon, I keep it in a wish list, and Amazon or any of the lists, Amazon lets me know when it goes on sale, and then I'll buy like 4 or 5 packages. But I'm constantly using up my batting and going through it. Thanks, Jackie. I'm glad you can see me loud and clear, Giovanna. I try. I'm projecting. I'm trying not to shake the table either. But yeah,
I'll get the batting when, when I absolutely have to. It's not that big of a deal right now because I don't have the time. I'm gonna set this. I don't know, somewhere. I don't have the time for it right now, so there is no rush for me to get batting because, yeah, like I said, I'm not ready to make the quilt. I have maybe 5 or 6 quilts that I have to make, and I'd rather prep them all at the same time. There's all that pin basting and stuff because I don't spray baste the quilt. So there's a lot. The red top makes me more visible. Yeah, I try to, it shows up pretty good on camera, so I try to wear the red one. This week I didn't have a choice because I don't know what I did. I did laundry on the wrong day or something because it was either this or a light gray long sleeve shirt, and that one doesn't show up on camera very much. So I could either pick a strip and then pick a beginner, or I can grab a beginner and then make a mess and find a strip. This one was my contribution because I got this out of that Missouri Star Quilt Company. And the bolt box, I keep that separate on my shelves from my other fabric just because I want to see how much I use it. And there's a lot of Halloween and specialty type fabric in there, but I really like this apple. I also got most of the shop listings listed this morning or yesterday. I worked until 10 o'clock last night trying to get photos edited and the items in the shop. So if anyone would like to take a wander around my Etsy shop to see what's going on in there, I have a few more things that I need to put in, and I haven't finished up the hot pads yet, so they're not in yet, and the extra coasters, but I put like the pillows. I think I have everything in there, but I didn't put the bench pillow in, and I haven't put the postcards. Oh my goodness, YouTube, another ad? You're going to give them to me constantly? You have 3? I did something, Charmaine. Back in Florida, when I was going through and organizing everything, I just sold my quilt tops. Just go. Someone was very sweet and purchased most of them, and she wanted a quick and easy way to make quilts for the grandkids and small children and stuff. So she just purchased my quilt tops. So I kept my favorites, and she grabbed the rest. And I'm like, thank you so much. Excuse me, my nose itches. That's one thing you don't see on camera is I have a very itchy nose. So yeah, that I got that solved. Otherwise, there's some long-term ones. I'm just thinking ones that I've made either here in Arizona or in Florida within the last year or two. I haven't unpacked everything yet, so there could be some more. There's a big box in the garage that's just full of fabric, and I have no idea what's in it. I have some finished quilts and stuff too that I need to make some decisions on. I'm sure I can find a place here to donate them to. You got 2 quilted in January? That is a great job. That is awesome. I still have a few in my head that I really want to make. Like I still haven't made my flying geese one, and I think I have all the fabric now to make a salvage spider web, but I also want to just make a regular spider web, and I want to make a pineapple quilt, and yeah, I haven't figured out a good routine. Oh, I'm going to be coated in thread now. I haven't figured out my routine here yet, so I have a big chunk of time where I'll get so much done, and then nothing. I'll have days where it's just nothing gets done, and it's frustrating. Oh, this one's, no, that was too close in color. We can do this one, no? I'm trying to say, okay, even though these aren't the same fabric and I could get away with it, I don't want to put these 2 here together if I can avoid it. Project Linus. Yeah, I also want to see Gifted sample fabric from an upholstery shop. Oh, that is exciting. Yes, you can either email me it's in the description box of my videos, or you can message me on Etsy. I can't always say yes to everything that people would like me to make, but I do try my best. When it comes to certain things, if you're like, I need a zipper bag that's mostly purple and I need it to be this size, it's great. But if you're very, very particular and you need a specific fabric, I usually don't do those unless you purchase the fabric and mail it to me. But it never hurts to ask. You can go ahead and message me. I like to do custom orders to a certain point. You want to make bags with what is it? Christine's Affairs, Quilting with Christine. If you guys know who I'm talking about, she's in Australia and she gets like truckloads, van loads of upholstery fabric. People donate it, like leftover rolls from a shop or the samples that are on the cards. And Christine's Crafty Affairs, I think that's something similar to that. But she shows you how to take everything off of the cards, how to prepare the fabric, and then she shows you a ton of different bags you can make with them, because that's how she makes all of her bags. So she has like zero cost when it comes to the fabric and stuff. So she sells a tons of stuff. She's very Christine. There you go. Home Affairs. Yeah. Yeah, she started out not that long ago here on YouTube with like nothing, and now I think she's over 100,000 subscribers. Her videos are really popular. I don't watch all of them, but I am subscribed, so I kind of pick and choose what comes by. I love when people are like, I made this many bags this year, and I sold this many bags. Those are some of my favorite videos, so I usually watch those. I tend not to watch tutorial videos in general. Oh, that's fuzzies. I thought it was blue ink. I don't pay attention a lot to the videos, so to sit down and watch a tutorial while I'm working, it doesn't really work well for me. Yeah, her and her husband or boyfriend, they kind of like split the shop between, I'm going to call it junk, but it's not junk. It's like secondhand things. You know how people call it like a junk shop or something? So yeah, she sells a lot of her sewing items in the shop, and he sells all of the stuff that he does. I think that works out really great for them. I also, back just to say, I do take requests for videos also. I can't always guarantee how fast they'll come out. It depends. Like, the more, I mean, it's kind of the truth, but the more I'm interested in doing it, the more chance that the video will get done. If it's just, can you show how to do this? Sometimes I'm like, yeah, and I got to figure out how am I going to do it. Some people want to show like a specific pattern, and I can't do that without the person's permission. But I can kind of sometimes come up with something similar. What do I want here? Not those colors, not those colors. I can do this. Ooh, let's do this. No, let's do this. Giovanna teases me all the time. I'm always indecisive. It doesn't really matter that much, because when you see in the thumbnail of this video, they all just kind of blend together anyway. I haven't been watching too much YouTube. I got hooked on the Hallmark Channel has On My Way Home or My Way Home or whatever it is. I just started watching it maybe Thursday, and I'm all done. I'm already on season 2 and stuff. I don't know what I thought it was, but it's not what I thought it was, and it's been a really fun TV series to watch. I have to move it out of the way. YouTube, for what I generally watch, has been kind of slow. January is a very slow month in small businesses usually, and in like like YouTube and stuff. I think people just spend all their money at, December and stuff. I'm over here again, off to the side. So in December, they spend a lot of their money. So January, they're doing I'm going to exercise more resolutions. I'm going to spend less money and things like that. Or they just don't have the money to spend because the credit card bill came in. So things get a little bit slow, which is good because a lot of times you need time to catch up. And on my side of it, as a small business and a content creator, have being a little slow in January is great. But as a consumer, I'm like, I've watched all of YouTube and it's only lunchtime. What am I going to do now? So I had to find new things. But it's been kind of nice because Hallmark's always putting out something. And then all of my fun TV shows are coming back. All the NCIS and CSIs, and I watch Found and Matlock, the new Matlock. That one's been pretty fun. It's just when they do so many episodes and then they just leave us hanging, sometimes my brain just loses interest. I lose interest on things too quickly. 1 second, Sandy. I'm just going to catch up. Oh, I have my TV is way over there, but I have a little, it's like an 8.5-inch tablet or something that I watch on. Oh, Stargate 1? Nice. Okay, so I just about ripped my Band-Aid off. That Hallmark movie, I don't know what I thought it was, but it's about this pond that's supposed to, everyone's like, don't go to the pond. It's a sinkhole. It's dangerous. But at one point, one person falls into the pond accidentally, and it's a form of time travel. So it can take you to the past. And then I don't want to give away a lot, but what ends up in the very first few episodes is it's a mother and daughter who have been estranged from the mother/grandmother. So it's like me and my daughter are estranged from my mother. So they've been gone for so many years, and then something happens. The mother gets divorced, so her and the daughter move back in with grandma or move in with grandma. And then it ends up being that the daughter, the youngest one, we'll say she's like 15 years old. So the 15-year-old met her mother when her mother was 15, and they became best friends in the past. So it's just this really, I'm always terrible at explaining things because I don't want to give away any of the fun stuff. But it's a Hallmark TV series, so you kind of have that idea. Oh, the long lost love. They finally get back together. So the mother divorces someone, and then there was this best friend next door. It's always the guy next door that's the best friend that's been in love with the girl next door for all these years. He missed his chance back in high school, and now she's divorced, and he's got his chance again. So as it goes on, it's all that kinds of stuff, and there's a lot of fun things, and it's really a quick, fast-paced background type of thing, where if you miss a little, you can kind of get caught up, so it's not too bad, but I really enjoy it. Yeah, time travel, it's fun in a Hallmark way, So it goes back to like the 1800s, it goes back to 1999, so you see the Y2K again. You go back, it does touched a little bit on 9/11, and then it talks about how, like with time travel, whatever was will always be. So if something happens, they try to go back in the first season and change things, and then they all realize in their own time. And, it takes everyone a little longer to realize things that, excuse me about my voice. It's just crazy allergy season here. I learned last year, February and March are really hard on me. If you guys remember, I was sick a lot when we first moved here last year. But yeah, so it's like everyone has to learn that if someone died, no matter how many times you go back and try to change it, they will always die. They just die differently every time. So whatever is will always be. You can't change the past, which is a nice thing to know. Jody made it back. Yeah, I've never watched Doctor Who, but yeah, it's kind of similar. Instead of science fiction, it's more of Hallmark. Hallmark TV shows and movies all have the same basic premise. It's always like, the girl comes home back to her hometown from when she was a child and meets someone that, they didn't have a chance to fall in love, and now they fall in love, and blah, 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 and that's just how it is. Now, using these skinnier strips, it is taking me longer to build up going around, but it's not that big of a deal. I always keep my 9.5-inch ruler. Sorry, I'm used to being all the way up in the front. I gotta remember to be back here. I like to keep my whatever size block that I'm doing. I chose 9.5 because I didn't want to do 12.5. It's too big. 6.5 is too small. You only get a couple strips. 10.5 would have been better, but I have a 9.5-inch ruler, so that was really the main reason I chose 9.5. But if I keep it here, I don't need it right now, but as I'm building my blocks, I put it in the center. Or I'll put it all the way over here, because this will tell me that I need to add 6 more inches on this side, and I need to add, this way I have to do the math a little bit, so I have to add 5.5 inches this way. So that's how I figure out, if I need to put more. Obviously I need to put more. It's just in the beginning stages, but I do like to keep a ruler out all the time. And then I have the small ruler. This is a 2.5 by 8 that I use to just trim up the edges, as you saw. Yeah, so I'm very much into series, whether it's a book or it's a TV show or something. I like to get to know the characters, and I like knowing what to expect and stuff like that. I'm not huge on changes and things like that. I need to know what's going on. Like, if I go somewhere, let's say I go to a doctor's appointment, the first time I go, I'm always very nervous. And then after I've been there and I know what it looks like and what the feel of the place is, then I'm better. So it's kind of like the same thing with a book. I'm listening to this book series about this British woman that owns a Sherlock Holmes resale bookshop. She does used books and stuff. It's a cozy mystery. I know what to expect. It's a Hallmark movie in a book form, cozy mysteries. So you always know what's going to happen. And even though I'm not enjoying this specific book, like number 10 or whatever it is, I know exactly what's going to happen. And I can usually guess how it's going to end. And I don't mind that. That doesn't bother me. It's very comforting to me to know. I don't know where the center is. I just guess at this point. I like knowing the basic premise of something. I like the ease of the background noise so I don't have to pay attention to it. Same thing with, I put these little bits up there out of the way. Same thing with TV shows and stuff. Hallmark Channel is great because I know I don't have to pay attention while I'm working. I just need something in my ear while I'm doing things to keep things quiet so that, it helps me concentrate by having some type of background noise going on. I have never seen one episode of Doctor Who at all. I like the historical events and stuff. I thought it was more science fiction-y, and I really am not that much into like science fiction. But I've been thinking that I should give Doctor Who a try just to see if it would be something that I would enjoy. Because you never know, right? You never know. When you're getting ads on YouTube, you were probably all getting ads at different times. Okay, so when you're getting, it can be scary. I don't like scary. As long as it's not horror scary. I don't mind suspenseful scary. I don't do horror. I don't do those what is it? The series, the last one. Well, they just came off the new one, The Fourth Wing, and all of that. Those books, I don't like to have. I don't like to have sexy scenes when because I'm just going bopping around, doing my work, listening, and then all of a sudden you get one of those scenes. I don't, I don't like it. It feels so awkward to me. It's not. I don't do romance books. I like the cozy mysteries. They have a little bit of hugging and a kissing, and you know what happens, but they don't go into depth about it, and they don't talk about it a lot. Now, I do like to look at sexy men, though, so I got no problem with that. So if they look good, I've heard the Doctor Who's, they usually have them to make sure someone's kind of good looking. Do the Matt Smith there? I don't have to watch it from the beginning. I can just pick a season. Hi, Lucy. Ooh, rugby. Yes. Rugby's fun to watch. Suspenseful. I like suspenseful. So I was thinking, when there's going to be a lull in the summertime again where there's nothing good to watch on YouTube and the TV shows are going to be done and stuff. So I'll be looking for something new. And instead of rewatching something I've already watched, like I don't mind. I like to rewatch some of the NCISs and the CSI. I was thinking about rewatching CSI New York because I think I've only watched that one time all the way through. I don't think I've watched it a bunch of times. So I thought, oh, I want that dark one. That one's nice. This one's a really nice fabric. So I was thinking about rewatching that. But if Doctor Who is pretty good, I mean, I know it's what, hit or miss. You either love it or you don't like it. So it's worth giving it a try. Oh, really? Doctor Who goes that far back, Lucy? Yeah, because sometimes I tend to miss some TV shows. They get that one season, like season 4, season 7. That's just, what were they thinking? It's so weird, and I tend to stop watching at that point. So I wanted to go back and watch CSI again to see it as a straight through continuance. I really don't watch things that often while they're live. Like I'm watching just a couple TV shows that are currently active right now. I really prefer to wait and watch a whole season. I usually catch like book series. If a new book comes out, like let's just example, Harry Potter. So Harry Potter reading each book and having to wait a year or two for it to come out is really annoying for me because I listen to books, do the audiobooks. I might have listened to 12 books, 15, 20 books before that next one comes out, and I've totally forgotten what's going on. So I'd rather have a series that already has 15 or 20 books, and then I'll listen to all of them so that by the time if there's a new one that comes out, it'll come out and I'll be, all set and ready and caught up. So I do the same thing with TV. I like to just one after the other. I'm very much a binge listener, reader, and a binge TV show watcher. I don't watch too many movies. I don't mind movies. I love like the Hallmark Christmassy stuff, so I watch a lot of those. Yeah, I heard the woman one, like the true Whovians, isn't that what they're called? They weren't too happy with the woman, and I don't know if it's like not because it's a woman, but maybe they handled it not properly or something. Sometimes they do things just to be correct or to fit with the times, and if they don't handle it right, they'd have been better off just not doing it, right? I am so parched today. How many blocks have I? Oops, sorry. Oh, look, sewing does make the. Does that drive you guys crazy? Sewing. I just saw it over there. Sewing makes the table shake. If it gets too bad, I guess I could try pulling the table away from the wall, but this isn't really the best option. I can always put it back at a different angle so we're not like this. I think I have 13 blocks, and here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, look, no, 11. I have 11. It's okay. The writer. Yeah, so they have different writers every season? Now, we did see that in the Harry Potter series where you get the different directors and stuff. And even though, I don't think I want that one there. Even though you know what's, because you read the book, you know what's going to happen and stuff. But if the producer or the director decides to, let's just change things up a little bit, it can ruin something. So I can see where the writers of the show, especially if they're trying to make a mark for themselves or something, they can really mess things up. All right. Kids were in high school. Oh, you have two doctors? Like, oh, because they're doing the time travel and stuff, right? So you can have, we're getting to the messy point. There we go. We're at the messy point. I always reach a point where it just like all gets tossed in. But you see, I've been keeping my bucket really clean though. I've been being really neat with it, and at the end of the sewing, I put it all back. Did you guys like yesterday's video? I have to catch up on the comments. It seemed like people liked it, so I thought it might be fun to do more like that. So if anyone happens to have a suggestion of like what we can do like that, because I watch Passionate Kelsey. She does knitting and crochet, and she has these series where it's like, how many hats can I knit? How many handkerchiefs or head bandana kerchief thingies? How many, she does scrunchies, how many scrunchies? So I thought since we were doing the log cabins, it might be fun to see how many log cabins. I had planned on doing how many log cabins can I do in a day, but I didn't start it until like 2:30 in the afternoon, so I had to switch it up a little bit to how many I can do in an hour type situation. I was really surprised. If you have your strips already cut, it doesn't take that long to get the blocks done, because just chain piecing like this. So we've been doing this for an hour with a little bit of chit chat and not moving at a steady pace. And I'm on 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be coming up on the 4th round of 11 blocks. Ow! Those Aliso irons and the wool mats get so hot. I keep burning my fingers on them. You did? Great. Thanks, Sandy. I thought it was, everyone did like it. Good. He split when he was regenerating. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah. I've seen some of the Harry Potters on the big screen. They are fun. Hi, Baze. Becky, how are you doing? You're so fine if you're late. No big deal. No big deal. We're here. Come and go as you please, right? Yeah, I thought it was kind of fun. If you remember, I mentioned I wanted to do something on the live stream week, so it was something a little bit easy and fun. Ooh, I'm getting the fibers tickling my nose, all the thread and the dust. I wanted to do something fun the Friday before versus a full in-depth tutorial. So I thought that was kind of fun. Kind of not similar, but similar to a week in the studio type thing, that I would have to actually plan a little bit more and know that I was actually doing things during the week, because most of the times my week is very boring. I think I don't want to do like overkill on that, because it could be, it could get really boring if you're like, how many log cabin blocks? How many 9 patches? How long does it take me to hand sew an EPP thing or something? That is very, very boring for both of us. So I'll have to see what I can come up with for the next idea. all of this helpful AI type stuff is really kind of helpful for content creators because you can kind of take a little bit of an idea and AI will tell you what is good. And YouTube has this feature that if you put an idea in, it'll tell me if most of you guys that watch my videos would enjoy seeing it based on what you guys watch. Because you know, everyone's always watching what we're watching. They know what we like and don't like. There. Whoop. And I missed. I think it's helpful. It's also a little scary that everyone knows so much about us, but I mean, at this point, we get it. We know how it is, right? Sorry, I've got squeaky chair. He doesn't die. He regenerates into another person, but with the memories of all his past lives. Well, I mean, hey, that helps. Yeah, I'm really more of a traditionalist with the Harry Potter books. I haven't seen the movies but a few times. These are 11, and then I'm going to say I have 13. So that'll put me up to 24, and I need 90. So I need 90 blocks. So that leaves me like 90, 24, 66, I think. So I think since I'm really not making these blocks, this is going to be the last round, I think, that I do the little ones, maybe. I'm just putting it on my ruler. I'm putting it on my ruler and looking. So when I make another little round, then it leaves me enough room. I want to have the last round to be about 2 inches. So we'll see what it looks like after this round. I should be able to move up to the bigger blocks then. Yeah, I need 90 for my bed. Because I don't think you were here yet, Giovanna, but I did a little math. I took the size of my mattress and I decided since my mattress is 12 inches thick and I don't want the cats to be rubbing against it when they go underneath the bed all the time. So I took my mattress side and I added 12 inches to the left and the right and the bottom because the quilt usually just goes up to the top of the mattress. It doesn't, because I have the headboard and everything, so you know it doesn't go behind your pillows and stuff like that. And I put my pillows on top of the quilt, not under it. I have other things on top of the quilt, you know, I put on top of the pillow. So I added my 12 inches all the way around. And then I know my blocks are 9.5 inches. So they are going to finish at 9. So I did all the math. And then I had to round up because it said 9.33 and 8.44. So it gives me a little wiggle room, and based on this block, I could trim it down, the whole quilt, if I needed to. And when it gets quilted, if it stretches out or whatever. But I multiplied the across by the downs, and it gave me 90. So that's the way I figured mine. Yeah. I doing this on the first Saturday of the month. We're pretty much, well, it's 12 o'clock. You know, we usually go for about 2.5, 3 hours. So if we only go for 2 hours, and I get these moved pretty far forward, chances are I'll keep working on this after we're done with the live stream to finish them up. So if I can do 10 blocks and I only do it on the live stream the first Saturday of the month, I can still, that would take me 9 months to get the quilt top done, right? To get the blocks done and then sewing it together. Will I finish this in 2025? Don't listen to Giovanna, because she's like, Robin, you get it finished. No, Giovanna, no. This is going to turn into a flimsy, and it's going to sit there. And maybe next year in 2026, we'll do, I can't see quilting it during a live stream because it's more of you guys just sitting there watching me, and I can't quilt and talk at the same time. 100% it's never going to happen. So, you know, it's something I have to do on my own, but we can always say 2026 is to finish all of our quilt alongs and we can start something new in 2026. Because if you think about it, if we only do, I'm going to look for more that can go with this fabric. If we only do one quilt along a year, right? Then I don't see a problem if we have one unfinished quilt. Now, if you guys get it done, that's great. You know, don't go by me because I was told I'm a topper. I'm not a finisher. I just like to make quilt tops. Now, this is for me and for my bed, so I already have a quilt on my bed. So when I get it done, I'll get it done. And for my chair, I cheated, Giovanna. Yes, I cheated. I bought a blanket. I bought a throw soft and fluffy blanket to throw over my shoulders when I'm knitting. I still need something for, if I wanted to go across my lap, but yeah, it's a lot of blocks, but they go quick if you just do it on a monthly or a weekly. Yeah, Giovanna's going to be bugged. Giovanna, I love you, Giovanna, but I decided early on to let you just have your say, and then when I turn off the camera, I just totally ignore you. Can you? Oh yeah, you can see me good. I'm giving you these really wide eyes, and I'm not blinking very much. I say yes, Giovanna, you're absolutely correct, and then I'm like in my head going, Giovanna, I'm not gonna get it done. It doesn't really matter, right? We can all do our own things, and if I only want to make quilt tops, I can sell quilt tops on Etsy too, just as much as I could probably sell a quilt top faster than I can sell a finished quilt. Because long armors are always looking for quilt tops to practice on, and people who don't have time to do an entire quilt, they go on to like Etsy and eBay and stuff, and they look for quilt tops, and then they can finish them themselves. So I don't mind. I mean, if I love this. This is gonna get finished. I want this on my bed. But right now with the cats, anyways, I have a piece of like 3-4 yards of fleece just cut right off the bolt, and that's sitting on top of everything so the cats can't get to my quilts. So I can only see this like this much at the top of my bed when I make my bed. So this is, I'm not in a rush to have it finished because I have a way of staying warm, so it's okay. This is why I make, yeah, Giovanna, see? Hi, June. Oh, there goes the ads again. Oh, hi, Terry. And in case you didn't hear me because of the ads, hi, June. Hi, Terry. Jody, I cannot go and rent any time at a long arm. I cannot. Just no way. Because it's like opening a can of Pringles and eating just one or two and walking away. Eating one Oreo and walking away. Taking a sip of soda or coffee and walking away. No. If I rent time on a long arm and I use that long arm, I will be trying to find a way to get a long arm into this house. The dining room is empty. I could fit a long arm in there. I can make payments. Don't get me started. I cannot afford a long arm and I don't have the time. If I were to stop doing some things and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do YouTube anymore, or I'm changing up and not doing the Etsy shop, then I would 100% want to become a long armor and make quilts, do that for a living. I can't do that. I can't. I would like something like they have the ones where you can put your machine on it, like the little Grace ones or something like that. That would be fun to have. But yeah, I've always wanted a long arm. It's just not in my budget, and it's really not. It's not in the space in this house. Ooh, can't have yellow with that one. Oh, it's got yellow already. Here we go. Yeah, so a long arm would be fun, but I can't. Don't start with me, Jody. Oh, Terry's just as bad. Yeah, don't be enabling me, you guys. I know I would love it. I've always wanted to have a long arm because I thought, well, that's what I could do for a job. Wouldn't that be fun? I know there's a learning curve, and I know it would take me a while. But I can also do like some people I've seen where they do a really deep discount in the beginning I was looking over because S'morezies is laying on a pile of catnip on my bed, crashed out. See, there's catnip on my bed. I can't have a quilt on the top. Not yet. I'm not rushing my cats to the end of life, so I'm just going to enjoy them while I have them and cover up my quilt. I'll hang quilts all over my walls if I want to see a quilt. But I think a long arm would be great. So I've seen people, they do it and they have a really discounted price and they only do the basics, like some basic free motion quilting until they get used to the like the tension and using it and all of that, and then they start doing more things, the pentagraphs and stuff or whatever they're called. Pentagram, isn't that the devil worshiping thing, and a pentagraph? Anyways, the different patterns and stuff, and then they start doing that and charging a higher price. Jody, do you own one or did you just buy one? Oh, using your Juki as a long arm. Yeah. So I've thought about that, right? I've thought about that. Just getting the thing so you could put a dedicated sewing machine on it to do the quilting and stuff. I think that's more of a practical thing. But the reality is once I start practicing again, I'm just I'm out of shape on free motion quilting and stuff. So if I were to start doing it again, I'm very comfortable doing it on my Juki here. So I don't mind quilting quilts. I just don't like basting them. That's the part that gets me. I've gotten better. The binding doesn't bother me anymore, so I'm good there. I'm going to put this piece as short, so I'm going to add it to my short pile over there. I'll use that on the next blocks in this area right here, so you just kind of keep it separate and collect it and use it again later. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I can do a lot of quilting in just this. I used to do it on my little Disney sewing machine. I did a king size quilt on it. So I can do it. They look like a lot of fun. Yeah, you can, because you can like do the thing where, I was just watching another video, I've seen it before, where you use one piece of backing fabric and then you put baby quilts on it. Or I've seen people put like 20 pot holders on it and they all have the same backing fabric. Coasters, you just line them up and then you can just like whoosh 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 and get it done. So if I were like to be really intense with my Etsy shop, then I would be looking in different ways to do things faster. But the YouTube channel was just supposed to be for me to say, do little podcasts and say, hey guys, this is just like Whip It Wednesday videos, and then go to my Etsy shop, see what's in there and purchase it. But then I got into this tutorial thing, and now YouTube is my main thing, with Etsy being the side job. So Etsy doesn't get as much attention as it should. So yeah, you can make anything work, for you if you try. Like, so I could do the long arm. I could, switch over and make that be my thing and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Not right now. Not right now. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put this blue next to this blue, and I don't care because this one's so much darker. I do hope that at some point a long arm is in my future. I just don't know what one. Now, I'm a huge believer in the universe, and if I go looking for a long arm, that's me doing it. If a long arm basically like knocks on my door and says, here I am at a good price, well, then I might have to do a long arm. But it has to makes good business sense, and I have to have room for it. And I am a visitor in my daughter's house, and she has a lot of plans for what she wants in the future here, and part of that is not me putting a long arm in her dining room in the middle of everything. Plus, her cats are assholes. They would eat every cord, they would pee on it, they would lay on it. Well, my cats can be assholes. They're very well trained to be a quilting cat. My daughter's cats are video game cats. They're not quilters. So everything I own, they try to destroy, so I have to protect everything. And having a long arm out in the main part of the house would not be safe. Plus, I don't have time. I just don't have time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing something like have a table to baste on, because getting down on the floor is just not cutting it anymore. Yeah, because you know, they like float the quilts, and they can also, you can send your quilt out to a long armor and have it basted. So if you want to quilt it yourself or hand quilt it, I think that's a great service too. I want to earn more money. I want to earn more money. So I'm trying to, I've decided that I'm easing into this. January is when everyone's like, let's go crazy. We're going to go on a diet. We're going to exercise. We're going to walk more. I'm going to put more in my Etsy shop. I'm going to have more videos. I'm holding off. Welcome to February, everyone. I was holding off to February, and I'm like easing into it. I have a 5-year plan for different things. So I'm slowly trying to, don't look, but I'm slowly trying to adjust my YouTube channel, but don't notice it, okay? By bringing in like, how many log cabins can I do? Just kind of mixing it up a little bit to bring more life into my YouTube channel. So I don't want it to feel dull for me, so I don't feel creative, and I don't want it to be boring for you guys. I want you guys to expect certain things, but I don't want you to always, oh, well, Robin's gonna have another tutorial. It's gonna be about the same every Friday. She shows us how to do a pot holder. I'm bored. So, you know, I don't want to, I know I have my core people that will watch whatever I do, but I don't want to, you know, for any people that just happen to be coming by. Because I think we got a lot of fun things going on here. So I'm trying to keep it fresh. That's the word. We got to keep it fresh, right? Let me check what's going on. Just reading comments. Hold on. Yeah, I'm with Jody. If I'm catching the comments right, Jody knows how to use her sewing machine, and putting a stitch regulator on it is really helpful if that's possible. And I don't want to learn something new. I'm comfortable with what I have, but it is nice to improve and do things in a better way. Yep, it's the 1st of February. My birthday's next Friday. I have a surprise for you guys on Friday. I know, Giovanna, that's because I'm trying to be really careful. I know how easy it is. People come and go on YouTube channels. I do it all the time. I'll watch a YouTube channel, like, okay, so I'll be watching this channel, and I'll be like, okay, 3, 4, 5 years later, I kind of shift my focus onto something else, and I go and I watch, and I leave the channel, and then I watch something else, and then YouTube will suggest the channel again, and I'll be like, oh yeah, what are they up to? Oh, look, they're up to something new, so I'm going to go ahead and watch that now. So I'm just trying to keep things the same, but fresh, you know? Just like in life, you don't do the same all the time, but you kind of change things up a little bit. So you see how these are getting longer now? So watch out, it's a lot of steam. I won't iron on my cutting mat, of course. But if you take it and go this way now, because if I go this way, it's going to push this and give me that little hump of a curve there. So I don't want to do that. I can kind of ease my point in on the diagonal. I think everyone just has to find their way. We all do the same thing the same way, but then we kind of switch it up a little bit to work for us. Now, let's say you have a physical change. Like when I had problems, I was having all the shoulder surgeries and still working. I couldn't do a lot of the things that I was doing. I couldn't knit and crochet and stuff. And that's when I started to do more sewing. So you're still crafty, but you're doing something a little different. I did hand piecing for a while, even with my shoulder in a sling. I had 3 surgeries on my right shoulder and 1 on my left. So for a couple of years, I think it was all within a 3-year time, I had one of my arms in a sling for most of that time. So that's when I started to do the EPP. And I did the the framed hexagons, the Quilt As You Go hexagons. I have some um, Missouri Star, the rulers, the templates that show you how to cut the fabric and stuff to do the Quilt As You Go hexagons. That's on the list for this year. I want to do a lot of specialty ruler videos this year. Like, okay, this is how we can use this ruler. The designer says you cut 2.5-inch strip. Was this 2.5 or 2.25? It's 2.5. I had it right. So this, you can use this ruler and make 2.5-inch strips, but we can also do something else. Let's make a circle with it or something like that. You know, I want to show you guys what a ruler can do, that it's meant to do, and then what else it can do. It used to be squashed with 4 kids, you know, 2 craft rooms. Yeah. So when Rob was still alive, but all 3 kids were moved out, we had the 4 bedrooms. So I had a bedroom, he had a bedroom, and we had a craft room, and then there was still a room for like the cats and storage. And then when he passed, I had a whole 4-bedroom house to myself. It was small, but I loved my little house. I miss my little house all the time. 2 commercials. Oh, you're doing pretty good, Becky. I think I've had 4 or 5, but I've been here longer. Yeah, so when you can retire like that, Lucy, yeah, I physically retired from my jobs because I couldn't physically do them anymore. So that's when I picked up this. Oh, you're all settled down, Lucy, so you can get some stuff done now? Yeah, that's what I thought, because, you know, rulers, I always think Alton Brown says, don't buy a tool for your kitchen if it only does one thing. If you can't use it for more than one thing, then you shouldn't buy it. Specialty tools aren't, you know, they're sometimes they're very necessary, right? Like, we can have specialty rulers that we really need, so we get them, and that's totally understandable. But then there's some that, like, what else can we do with this? Like, I purchased the 60-degree triangle, and I want to do some scrappy triangle quilts. And I have, okay, so this one right here, can you see that one's kind of like wonky along this edge on this side here? I don't know what side that is for you guys, left or right. So I'm going to line it up with the seam that I just put on. And if there's any extra down at the bottom, I'll just trim it off, because I want it to stay as square-ish as possible. So like even this one, I have that little bit of string. I've learned that even, can you guys see, even this little bit of nothingness, if you trim it off, it'll keep your block a lot squarer than if you leave it on. Oh no, tell Mom, shh, I'm watching a live. Sometimes, Giovanna, we have to give up things for our kids. Like when we leave this house, right now I am very blessed to have the master bedroom. My daughter has barely been home all year. The master bedroom would have been wasted on her. The rooms in this house are pretty small, so it would have been very difficult for me to do what I do in a small bedroom like I was doing in Florida for a year. So I'm very grateful that I could have this. But when we move to the next house at around this time next year, because the lease goes up at the end of February, we renewed for this year because we didn't want to even think about moving whether my daughter was home or not. And the boys, you know, we're just doing fine. I, of course, am doing the best because I have the biggest room. But the next house, and when she buys the house, I won't have this much space again. So I'm going to have to figure something out. And if we get lucky, I'll be able to have, there's a lot of like bonus rooms and loft spaces where they just have a big open area with no doors or anything in a lot of the houses here that we've seen. So we'll have to figure out some way to partition it off so that I can create a room for my studio still. So my daughter is very sweet to make sure she knows that this is how I pay my bills, to make sure I'm comfortable and have space to do what I need. But she would really like to have the master bedroom again. She's always had a master bedroom since the kids moved out. So yeah, she's kind of missing the master bedroom, I'm pretty sure at this point. See, there's not much to trim off. I don't know if you can see that or not. So there's not that much that you have to trim off each time, because I do cut them with the scissors right here at the sewing machine. And again, with an improv block like this, I can't just trim off the logs ahead of time. But if you're doing a standard log cabin, you can trim everything off ahead of time, and it wouldn't take you, you probably wouldn't have to do any of that trimming. Yeah, having the kids come home is fun. I just like to have to tell the kids that, you know, I'm working. Hey, I'm working. It depends, Jody, because she shed here, when it's 125 degrees out, is a little difficult. I also have to take into consideration my cats. So my cats can't just wander around the house because, again, my daughter's cats are assholes and they fight with everybody. So my cats rarely leave this room. They'll go out in the hallway when I'm getting food for them in the morning and stuff, and just watch to make sure, because they know I get distracted easily. Giovanna, you are my cats. My cats are you. Because they keep an eye on me to make sure I don't get distracted. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move to the wider strips now. So I'll pull out these big stacks of wide strips that I have, and I'll clean up the little strips later. So yeah, they keep an eye to make sure I don't get distracted, because if I do, they like to meow at me and tell me, hey, you're supposed to be feeding me, you know that, right? I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh, I can bring in the fun stuff now. Oh, this is the only fabric I think that I'm keeping that has some extra wild prints on it versus like the paisleys and stuff. Well, I guess some of them do, but this one is borderline not to go. Oh, there's another ad. This one's borderline not to go with this project, but I really like it, so I'm putting it in because it's my project and I can do anything I want, right? Yeah, I have seen some of those, Jackie, the dual master suites. If my daughter says if there's 2 bedrooms at the end of the hall and it's like a 5-bedroom or something, or it's a bedroom and a loft, that when she owns a house, we'll just put up like a screen door or a doorway. We'll create something so that my cats can go from the bedroom to my sewing space, because they've been in my studio for 2 years anyways, and I put things away so that, because they will chew on the yarn or they'll eat a spool of thread or something. So I have to put things away at the end of the day so that they can't get into it, because I don't hear them when I'm sleeping, because I basically ignore those sounds because I'm used to them. So they don't, they don't wake me up. So I just make it safe for them. So that way they can go from like room to room as they want. Because like right now, I have one on my bed. One is behind me. Right here, you can see like a little pink blanket. Oh, right here is a little pink blanket. So Whiskers is there in front of the black shelves. So they're all right here with me still. I don't know where Mocha is. She's probably underneath my white calico. She's underneath my bed or something. So they're all really, they like to hang out with me when I'm working. So they need to be able to move about. Plus, if they're just in a small little 9x10 room, it's not healthy for them. They don't get to move around. Like in this room, it's big enough. They run. I mean, they get their little paws scurrying on the fake wood floor in the bathroom because there's no door in the bathroom. So it's like having 3 rooms, and they just get racing around, and they're like parkour. They're up over the bed and on the other tables and on my chair, and they just get rid of their bursts of energy that way. They've always been like that. So it's kind of fun for them. But I have to make sure that everything's good. Now, if I can provide enough of an income, I would 100% move out. But right now, I can't do that. Ooh, weekend visits. I like weekend visits. Yeah, a mother-in-law, a smaller house. They don't have basements here. I haven't seen any basements, so you can't put me in the basement or the attic. Miss Mocha is so sweet and darling and so fluffy. I had to lint roll myself because I picked her up before the live stream, so I had to lint roll myself to get all of her fur off. She has the softest fur, but it clings to everything. It's crazy. Where did I? Oh, I'll use this again. Again, I'll put a couple of blocks on each of these, even though it's the same round, because in 90 blocks, chances are they're gonna match up. It's crazy that I'm doing scrappy and not paying attention, but there'll be like 7 blocks that have the same fabric in the same place. It's funny how that works out. But I'm okay with it because there's no direction to these. Did you see the Missouri Star Quilt ones? Jenny made one where she put the little house inside and then made a log cabin around it. That's really cute too. 11-day vacation. That's fun. I really enjoy my kids as adults, you know? But I'm trying to teach my children that just because, you know, like those moms that work from home or stay home and take care of their kids, and all the other moms are like, oh, well, you're at home, you're not doing anything. Can you go and do this for me and do that for me? It's like, no, oh, here's this fun, fun, fun. I'm working. I tell them, you guys don't seem to understand that I work 7 days a week. I might not work, you know, but 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day, and then I knit at night, so I still count that as working. But just because you don't hear the sewing machine and you don't hear me talking, it doesn't mean I'm not working. You know, don't knock on my door just because you're bored. Don't think because I'm easily distracted that you can easily distract me. You know, I have to I have to not be a people pleaser, and I have to say, I'm sorry, I love you, but go away. So I started a new thing this week, and when someone knocks on my door, I just yell working, and if it's important, they can tell me, and otherwise, do I want, I don't want that. You know, they can wait. They can tell me, look, this person, I know I've shown it before, but she found green striped fabric, whether, I think it was just in a jelly roll, but this one's a little bit narrow on the white. I'd like the white to be a little bit wider, but green striped fabric does exist. It does exist. I thought it was a unicorn. Oh, it's fun when you get to hang out with your mom too, yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lucy. They forget. They're like, oh, mom doesn't go to work. Mom's just doing that silly YouTube thing. My kids are, you know, like my daughter is very proud and she like shows everyone my channel and all that stuff, and I appreciate it. But then one of the boys, they're like, oh yeah, that's just mom's silly little YouTube channel. I don't know how she got all those views. I don't think they're real views. Did you pay people to watch your videos? Are they fake subscribers? I'm like, dude, I'm not telling you anything else because that's not nice. That's not supportive. I'm like, come on. I could be TikTok famous if I could figure out how to use TikTok and it still exists. I'm still struggling with Instagram. I'm going to have to take a class on how to do Instagram because I signed up for a couple things that show you how to do things. I just haven't had time to pay attention. I need something there. You know what I don't have? This is the only red that I really have. There's some narrow strips, but I need to add some red into this also. So I think I will have to put some pink over here. Oh, look, I grabbed the same one that's in the center. Son of a gun. All right, let's do, this one's really cute too. I love it. You guys find fabric that, I mean, I don't go out fabric shopping and I don't go looking for fabric, so I don't see it. So when you send me your scraps, I get so excited because it's just so much fun. I'm like, I've never seen this fabric and it is adorable. So yeah, I just have to settle into my routines and kick my children out more often, things like that. You know, the stuff we have to do as a mom. I'm gonna put some on here too. Right? Where am I getting money? I'm not in the past you used to be able to like buy subscribers and they would be bots and stuff, but YouTube learned and that's when they started doing the mass deletes and they would like delete you if you hadn't watched videos in a while and stuff because they just think like you're not a real person or something. And they don't want to pay, you know, the content creators for bots that aren't real people. I'm like, dude, if I could afford to have bots, would I be living with you, right? All right, so the purple stripe isn't all that purpley, so I could like add this in because I know it's purple on purple, and I said I try not to do that, but the purple stripe and this purple are a little bit different, and it wouldn't bother me, but I'm not going to do that. Just to let you know, you know, you can make up your own rules. You can change your rules every day. Giovanna doesn't like it, but she just teases us about it. She really doesn't care what we do. So if you want to put, you know, two blues, think about the log cabins that are lights and dark. Some of them are like all white on one side and all black on the other. So even a traditional log cabin has the same colors touching. And really, I was thinking this morning when I was getting ready, does it really matter what's on my bed? I have flaming motorcycles with dragons is the fleece that I have on my bed because I bought it for Robbie when he was like 10. And then when he outgrew it, it was perfectly brand new, hardly ever used. So I use it now. Like, I don't care. So who's going to come into this bedroom? You guys hardly ever see my bed. I can have the most gorgeous New York beauty, fanciest quilt that took 10 years to make on my bed. Who's going to come into my bedroom and see it? I can throw a black sheet over my bed and call it a day. Who's going to come in and see it? You make the quilt that you want to make that's going to make you smile when you get into bed at night or you see it during the day. So if you want two purples touching, you put two purples touching. How you like that one, right? You do what you have to. Ooh, I love walking sticks. Lucy, people do send me boxes. Some people collect them all year long and then send it to me once a year. And then other people are just like whenever they have something, they'll send it. So I have received a lot. People don't want to overburden me with a lot of scraps either. Plus, package, oh, there's a little bit. Postage rates and everything are really high, as you know. So it's kind of hard for people to do that. I do go on Etsy periodically and just purchase some scraps if I'm looking for a certain thing. Like I'm always looking for orange and yellow, and some of you guys have been so sweet and you send me like fat quarters and yardage of orange and yellow, but then I can't cut it up and put it in my scrap containers. So I'm gonna have to start doing something a little different. I decided once I have all of my scraps on the black shelf organized, I want to take and cut like of my yardage, maybe cut a 5-yard strip or 5.5 for wiggle room and cut it off of every fabric that I have that's rainbow colors, you know, like red, yellow, and then put that in my scrap strip bin because when I'm doing projects like this, I go there before I go to my yardage. So by doing that, I would have it right there and then I can just grab it. So I think that's something I'm going to need to start doing because when people are so sweet and they send me, you know, like a fat quarter of like 3 different oranges, it never makes it over to those bins. And those are the bins that are usually running a little low. So I have to rearrange, I have to change the way I think and my autopilot. Again, that's that thing with scraps and storing them and collecting them and stuff. What is going to work? Ooh, polka dots. These are fun because they're circles and they're technically polka dots, but they're not. So it's like, what's going to work for you? You can't just say, okay, if I come to you and say, this is what you need to do and how you need to cut and organize your scraps, that's not going to work for everybody. I can just say what I do, and the important part is, why do people do what they do? So if you know why, like if you know why people are mean and evil, you know why people are lovey-dovey, but why do people collect their scraps the way they do? Well, because of the type of projects. So if you use a lot of charm squares, you cut your scraps into 5-inch squares. If you never use a 1.5-inch square, why would you keep fabric that's less than 2.5 inches? Right? You don't have to save everything. That's my little thingy there. Robin won't let me visit. Robin won't let me. You would not see my quilts. We have a little unwritten rule here at the house. I think it's going to start slowly being broken. But over the years, basically, we always went somewhere and we didn't bring people home. Mostly because my husband wasn't the nicest person, especially to people coming into his house and strangers. So we used to not bring people home. So we've always kind of gone to other people's houses, or we would have like barbecues outside. So people just didn't really come into the house. So that was kind of a thing that we always had. You don't bring people home, especially if you don't know them very well. You don't bring strangers or new friends into your house. You don't want people to know where you live. But yeah, so no, I don't bring people here. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna hang out in my room? There's really not too many places to hang out in the house. It's more of a go somewhere. So no, Jody, you can't come over and see the quilt on my bed, because you've already seen it anyways. It's from 2008 or 11 when I was doing block swaps. Giovanna, you cannot. Giovanna, if you make it from Italy, do you want to come over for a sleepover? You can try, but I have nowhere for you to sleep. I do have air mattresses though. The number one reason why I don't do a lot of quilts and stuff with the yardage, Lucy, is time. It's time. Um, Sometimes what people send is great for scrap projects or for things like zipper pouches and everything, but I can't always put fabrics together. They don't always work together. When people send me things that they use, so I can use it in the shop or sell it, because people are always really sweet. They're like, use it, sell it, give it away, throw it away, whatever you want. So if people send me like Civil War fabrics, I don't work with those. They would have to be like a zipper pouch or something, or a project bag. But to merge things together in a quilt, even a scrappy quilt, needs a little cohesion. So I would have to have time to do quilt blocks and do all of that. And right now, I barely, okay, it's Saturday. It's what, 12:30 something, right? 12:40. I still have to edit tomorrow's video for Patreon, because I got involved with doing all the stuff for the Etsy shop that I ran out of time, and I was like days ahead. And then the next thing I know, I'm far behind. So I just don't have time to make a quilt. I have everything everyone sent me. Things get added into, I very seldom keep everything separate like this. They get added in. People were so generous and sent me their salvages, and I finally have the background fabric, so I can work on the salvage quilts. I just have run out of time, and either I run out of time or I run out of energy. I know I'm not being as productive and useful and conscientious of my time, that I could do better. So I'm trying to figure out, I want to sit down and make a list of everything I need to do in a day, in a week, in a month. And then I want to make a schedule like I was in college or high school or something, and make a little block schedule. I'm over here ironing in case you didn't figure it out. You can hear it. And make a schedule so that I know when I wake up Monday morning, I already know that I'm going to do a Whip It Wednesday video. I make sure my hair is combed a certain way so that it's not sticking up in the back on a video day on Mondays. Otherwise, I have a colic at the back of my head and it makes my hair do weird things. And then I make sure I choose the clothes that I'm going to wear that day to be video ready, so that I know, okay, that's what I do that day. And now I'm trying to get it so on Mondays I do Whip It Wednesday. On Tuesday I do Friday's video. On Wednesday I do Sunday's video. Oh, I got an ad. Jody, I know. Hold on, let me catch up on some of this. My mouse, I just charged it and everything. Why is it being a brat? Okay. Yeah, 2.5 inches, it's really, when you have uniform log cabin strips, it makes life really good. Yeah, if you don't use scraps, then, don't keep them, right? Fat quarter bundles are nice. I'm gonna go shopping. If anyone remembers, can you guys tell me where the best place is to buy mini charm packs online? I can't remember what you guys told me. 1 second, Sandy. I'm just gonna scroll down to make sure. Oh, come on, be nice to me. So Jody, you keep going and I can't keep up with you. My body will not keep up with you. You are too much for me. I would have to slow you down. I would be a good influence because I would make you stop, and you would be a good influence because you would make me leave the house. There's never enough time. There is never. The squirrel always gets me. I just bought this mat. Amazon has these on sale right now. They keep sending me a message, but I already have one. This one's great because it's 24 by 36 and it covers my table. It's gray on one side and light gray on the other. I do have the green ones that you can put them together and make a huge one, but they're kind of rough, and I kind of like this a little bit better. When it comes to my scraps, I have 1.5 inch strips that I keep in one of my plastic project containers, and I use that for binding in a lot of my Patreon projects because they tend to use 1.5 inch squares a lot. And then everything else, if it's a fat quarter or smaller, I just put the big pieces in my large plastic bins on the top, and then the smaller ones go on the bottom. I do not cut my scraps to a specific size, but I do like to make sure that they're about like this. So if I have a piece that's all wavy and stuff, or you have like a chunk taken out of it, I do like to make it sort of square so that, let me show you. So these are my big bins. I showed these to you guys before. So I have pieces and they're nice and straightish, right? They're not perfect. Like, okay, this one has a chunk taken out of it. Normally I would trim that chunk right there off and put it in the smaller bits. So the bigger ones just have big pieces. You can see I haven't been keeping up with it that well because I have all these little bits. But there's no specific size. It could be anything. This is like a 2.5 inch strip or larger container. I just want squarish pieces, right? Boy, my laptop is really behind. And these are the bins that I'm working on little by little. These have all of my random bits in it. So I need to go through here, and anything that's smaller than 1.5 inches wide needs to either be tossed or put in another container so I can make fabric postcards with it. Like these little string bits here, this is too narrow, but this would be fun for a fabric postcard. I don't need these little bits anymore. I don't work with them. So I need to go through. So anything, like this one's a triangle. So I do a lot with triangles, but I just try to keep everything in a strip size. but I don't cut anything to a specific size because I never know what size I'm going to need. So I keep processing my scraps and processing my scraps, and they get smaller and smaller. And then some of them just need to not be in the house anymore, you know? So I'm going to put a lot of those smaller bits on my calculator strips going in the color order. So that's one of the things I need to work on and separate too. The reason I want to get mini charms, Lucy, is for the shop. I want to have more things in the shop that are matchy, so they're part of the same fabric line. So instead of taking the time to gather my scraps, figure out what ones are going to work together, cutting them all, ironing them, and sewing them together, that takes time. And time is money, and I don't have that much time. So if I spend a little bit of money and invest it into charm packs, I still have Christmas money left over, and that's what I want to buy the mini charms with. So then I can make pencil cases, coin pouches, zipper pouches, the larger project bags for cross stitchers and knitters. Then I can also use any leftovers with the fabric postcards. I can make coasters and hot pads with it. So I can use those mini charms in numerous places and take any leftovers that look good together and mix them together and make more projects. Basically, it just comes down to time. So I can still use all of these fun scraps to do my fun projects, and they're great for tutorials. But for the Etsy shop, to be able to put products in the shop regularly to, sustain that income and stuff, I need to be a little bit more modern and up to date and using fabric that people are looking for right now, because they're like, oh, I love this new line of Robert Kaufman, Tula Pink, or whatever. And then I can go ahead and do that. And it'll make those projects good. Okay, so this one right here has a little bit of bias. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but it has a little curve up here. So I'm going to lay my ruler across and just trim off that little bit of a hump that's been created. That way I'll have a nice even spot. So it's just this tiniest thing. I've learned that by cutting off this tiniest little bit right here, it makes my projects that much neater and more square or squarer or whatever you want to use. It just makes everything come out nicer. All right, did I get everyone? I do. I run out of colors a lot, don't I, Giovanna? Oh, I've had that one, Jody, but the pink just doesn't show up. I almost bought it again, but the pink just doesn't do good in videos. Note cards. Yeah, I haven't been able to make note cards or anything. We'll be here, Lucy. I haven't done note cards in a while. I want to start making more of the one fabric note cards along with the scrappy ones, because those do really well in the shop. So for like the holidays, if I had a whole bunch of pinks and purples for Valentine's Day. Now this seam here, the seam itself is kind of diagonally. So I'm not going to follow the seam on this one because it wouldn't work. I'll just chop off what looks good on the side. So already here, just because of what we're doing, I'm getting a lot of lines in my mat. And I just decided that it's a part of doing business. It's a business expense. So if I have to buy a new mat, instead of like using the old one and not having things work very well, it's better to invest and get a new one instead of struggling. But I try to only buy things when I either personally get a gift card or something, or if I sell something in the shop. And that way I can invest it back in. So it's just, it's the difference between thinking like, oh, this is fun and we're doing this for my room. And then I also have to think, well, small business thought process, because it would be nice. I don't know if I would live on my own at this point. I could, but financially it would be a bit of a struggle. And I don't want to use up all of my savings as I'm getting older. You know, you have to be careful because even as a young person, you never really know what might happen medically, financially, and stuff like that. Time is money. Should I spend an hour? So they say, like, you should put a price. I'm just getting a drink. I'm over here. I'll come back. They say you should put an hourly price for your wages. And based on my experience, for most of my things, I usually put a $20 mark for the hourly because I don't know what minimum wage is. Isn't it somewhere? A lot of the jobs around here are $15. I don't know what minimum wage is, but a lot of the jobs pay $15 to $17. And I think I have more experience doing what I'm doing than like a McDonald's worker. So I put myself up at $20. Some people pay themselves $30 or $35 an hour as a quilter and a bag maker and stuff. So for $20 an hour, picking out the fabrics, ironing the fabrics, cutting the fabrics, would it be better for me just to spend a little bit of money and get a mini charm pack? Or would it be better for me to take that hour or more and cut fabrics and stuff? You know, so it's just decisions you have to make. And every time I do that, sometimes I'll cut the fabric. Sometimes I'll buy the fabric. And it just changes. It's a personal decision, and it's a decision each time. I'm getting a little bit better, but I tell you, I like right now I can see I have 3 stacks by yardage of white fabric and 1 gray. But when I was working on a project with my patrons for tomorrow, this was one of the things that we were working on. I wanted to do a light gray background. I've already used up all that light gray that I bought in around October from Missouri Star to do the pumpkins. I only have a small amount and I couldn't find it at first. I think I might have had enough to do one of these. So I've already gone through that. I find I go through a lot of background fabric and not as much of the main fabric. So that's why with the main fabric, I can just go ahead. You know, sometimes it's better to purchase pre-cuts. I do have some layer cakes. I got to figure out what to do with layer cakes. That's one thing I do need to figure out. $14.70. Yeah, see, so it's about $15. So I think $20 an hour is not asking that much for what I do, right? I don't think, because minimum wage is when you first start in the company and you don't know that much. And I think I know more than minimum wage now, right? I think I qualify on some things. That's why sometimes when I put items in my shop, like I always use the example of the tote bags. When I first started doing the tote bags, I had them at a very low price. And then as I got more skilled and more knowledgeable and I started to add more bits to it, I increased the price. And I warned everyone ahead of time that that's what was going to happen. So if it takes you, 4 or 5 hours to make something, and that's not, you also have to decide, like sewing a log cabin block. If it takes me an hour, but Giovanna can do it in a half an hour, what can I do to save on time? I can't say a zipper pouch takes me an hour to make, so there's $20 plus the cost of supplies and extra stuff. So it's kind of a balance between, is it the cost of the supplies or the cost of labor? How far skilled are you? Because someone who can easily do those paper piecing projects that have like 100 pieces in it, that would take me all week when they can do it in just a couple hours. It's the whole small business thing and figuring out pricing is like a big thing. I think we're just going to put this round on these, and then we're going to go ahead and stop for the day. But as I mentioned, I'll have to go and do some dishes and edit my video, so I don't know if I'm going to have time to finish these. Tomorrow I want to finish up because I haven't done the I haven't finished the hot pads to get those in the shop. But there are some things in my Etsy shop if you're interested to go check it out. I would appreciate that if anyone has a couple pennies or a couple dollars spare this month you want to go see. Where's my calendar? So next Friday we have not a tutorial. I have a special video for Friday. It's an unboxing video. I thought it was perfect timing for my birthday to have an unboxing video. And then there's Valentine's Day, and I thought we'd do a heart project for that. And that's the 14th. The 15th we have a live stream. And then I don't think I have anything else planned for the rest of the month. I have some requests to like talk about rulers and stuff during live streams. Let me check comments. Oh yeah, $20 is a bit low, Jackie, but depends on what. When I do the price for like a mini quilt, depending on how complex. If you're just taking a whole bunch of charm squares and sewing it together, your skill level it doesn't have to be that high. If I'm doing something a little bit more in depth than I do, I don't always put labor prices into my products, but it is something to consider. And when we're talking like time is money, I it's that imposter syndrome. Like I have a hard time saying, but I think I could get $35 an hour as a specialty of something. But when if it's something just like making like fabric postcards take me a while, the price is already a little bit up there just for the amount of time, but you can't charge per hour for a fabric postcard or a zipper pouch. So even if you think you have a higher skill level, the hourly part doesn't always count into that. Plus, sometimes I feel like I'm crafting in sludge and mud, like walking through jello. It's like, am I taking too long to do something, or is it just that this project takes a long time to do? So it's really hard, and my brain doesn't help me out sometimes. But yeah, I think $5 over minimum wage, I could qualify for a little bit more than that. I have all kinds of calculators for how to do product pricing. What I basically do is this fabric was given to me, but if I run out of this fabric, I have to go and buy it at the store. So even though this fabric has a zero cost to me, if I were to turn these into a project and sell on Etsy, I would still value them as if I went to the store and bought it. I know some people won't agree with that, but if I run out of yellow and orange fabric, I went into my stash and fabric that I purchased and put it with these fabrics. So now there's that additional cost. So I always price things based on if someone sees this and five more people want it, I don't have the fabric, I have to buy some, then I have to include the cost of the fabric. So I always include the cost of the fabric, the batting, a little bit of thread, everything that's in there. And then I see how much the Etsy fees are. Because thankfully Etsy now has a calculator on there that will tell you. Like I was putting some things on and I saw that Etsy showed me how much they're taking out. And I'm like, I did not realize Etsy was going to take $3 out of the cost of like my quilted pillows. So I'm like, okay, so I need to, how much is the fabric and the batting, a little bit of my time. So it can get really difficult figuring all those things out. But I appreciate that, Jackie, and I do think I could earn a little more than $20 an hour doing what I do. That my skill set is a little higher than that. But sometimes you just have to come up with an easy baseline number. Oh, Giovanna, I do try to batch do a lot. That's like when you see me put zipper pouches out, there'll be like 20 of them because I batch sew them. That's just the only way you're going to be able to do it to make money. That's the best way to save time. But I'm trying to get away from just the one fabric zipper pouches. I'm a little bit more known for this. My scrappy quilt as you go pouches sell almost instantly when I put them in the shop, where the one fabric zipper pouches could still be sitting there. Like there's a bunch sitting in there now. That's why I still need to put. Here's the thing I've been thinking about. Rambling Robin here. I talked about doing mystery boxes, but I feel if I call them mystery boxes that I need to ship them out in a box, which would mean I'd have to buy boxes and the tape to close it, which is fine. But now I'm switching it up. I'm going to be hopefully listing them this week or next week, and they're going to be called mystery bags. That way they don't have to ship in a box, and it's just that whole mindset. You're getting a mystery box, you expect the box to come in the mail. So I don't have to spend the extra money purchasing boxes. I'm going to do mystery bundles and mystery bags. And that way, I'm going to start with, you're going to get maybe a 45 or 50% discount, and you'll get so many zipper bags in your order, and you'll get things that are already in the shop. And once the shop levels go down a little, or people don't want to buy those mystery bundles anymore, then I'll be doing you're going to get, at least one brand new item you've never seen, or you're going to get, 2 items from the shop and 2 new items and stuff, just to freshen it up. So I have the ideas, I just don't have the follow through. Yes, I hear you, Jody. I hear you. But I have to go in the morning, and I'm not going, don't yell at me. I'm not going this time. But I did see it on Instagram, and I saw the lines out the door and some of the booths and everything. You are 100% right that I should have done more research and looked into this when you first mentioned it months and months ago, because we could have went there today instead of doing this live stream. We could have done a live stream at the Sew Expo. I agree 100% that the Phoenix Fairgrounds is where I need to be, but I'm not going this weekend. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it. And I appreciate you for being the friend that pushes me beyond my limits, but I have to put my foot down this time and not go. But I'm going to sign up for all of their newsletters, any type of text alerts, and you will tell me when it comes again. I'm sure you will tell me several times. And I'm going to do better, but I'm not going to do better this weekend. I'm going to go over here where you can't see me now. Yeah, mystery envelopes. Yeah, mystery bags, Because if you put it in a box, if it's a mystery box, you have the box, you put the tissue paper in, you put the crinkled paper on, you put a sticker on it, you close the box, and you put that brown sticky tape on it. You can't just put brown tape or clear packing tape. You have to go to Amazon and get the flamingo or the pretty colorful flower tape. So you've added on $100 worth of expenses, and I haven't even sold the box yet. But a mystery bag, I can put it in my little sleeve. You can open it up and see, oh, look at all the fun things Robin sent me. She even sent me a wrist cuff. She hasn't even put those in the shop yet. Oh, and there's some stickers and a note card and a postcard and zipper pouches. This mystery bundle's amazing. And I don't have the extra things that I have to recycle or find a home to. Yeah, it came in a plastic bag and a plastic pouch, but look at all the goodies I got. So that's the excitement I'm going for, not the box. Yeah, we can all go next year. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I don't mind. I got wrapped up in the excitement of moving to a new area and exploring, and then I realized I'm a deep introvert and I don't like to go out. And I have so much to do that I feel guilty going. But if I go as part of YouTube, then it's considered my job. And I take both of my cameras, my phones with me, so I can do Instagram. Instagram goes this way, and YouTube goes this way, so I can film both at the same time, because you're on my main phone, and this is my old phone, and I got an email. See, this Fisker self-healing mat right now is $32.46 on Amazon. So that was a really great price, because when I first started looking for them, they were more like $50 and $60. So I think that 32 something is really a good price. I still have to set up the Amazon shop so I can earn some pennies when I tell you guys, hey, I got this on Amazon, go over there. I need an assistant that I can't afford. And my kids don't want to do that. So don't suggest that. Plus, I can't trust them. So yeah, I want to do things, but I really needed to stretch. I needed to be used to here first and feel comfortable. before I could have lot. This is a really pretty fabric. Before I could go out, like Jody, you're crazy. You live in Washington and you're gonna come to Arizona to go to a sewing expo? You're crazy. I don't even go 30 minutes away from me. I don't even go to Walmart. Okay, Walmart delivers my groceries. I don't have the time. So it comes again, time management. Robin needs time management. My job. Oh, I gotta stop hitting the table. Uh yeah, I was gonna go to QuiltCon because I thought QuiltCon was like Quilt Market Sewing Expo, but QuiltCon is just look at a whole bunch of modern quilts, and here's a lot of $100, $200 classes that I already teach on YouTube. So why would I go for someone else to teach me how to use scraps when I already know how to use scraps? They're going to teach me how to organize my craft room. I got that. I'm good. I'm good. Plus, I'm a weirdo and I need to do things differently. And you want me to take a class till midnight? No way. My daughter's like, you can just stay and use my hotel points. I'm like, you're really sweet, but I live an hour away. There's no way I'm going to stay at a hotel. And I'm not going to stay and sew with people in my pajamas at a hotel convention center till midnight. No, no, that's not a Robin thing. I have to learn what's here and what's here for Robin and not what's here for everybody else. And as I'm getting more comfortable in learning those things, I lived in Cape Coral, Florida for 42 years. I knew what they had. I can visualize it. I can go down the road. I know what they have. They do it all the time. Here, I'm like, I'm getting pretty good. I don't get lost as much. I don't have to use Apple Maps as much. I still do because I daydream while I'm driving and I should pay more. I pay attention to driving, but I let my mind wander. And before I know it, I've driven to the doctor's office when I'm supposed to be at Sam's Club on the other side of town, autopilot. So you have to have patience with me. Before it gets hot, I do want to take you guys for a walk in the back neighborhood so people who don't live here, I've never seen anything like this. It might be perfectly normal. Y'all might have it, but we didn't have it in Florida where you have cement walls around the houses and there's walking paths behind people's houses. You get shot for things like that in Florida. I love Walmart home delivery. I get a lot of my cans and boxes and stuff like that. Oh, for my birthday? I got that unboxing for you. The video's already done. I don't know. I don't think I think maybe I edited it. I don't know if I've scheduled it. I don't remember. I have to sit down. Now, Monday's a working day. So I'll sit down on Monday and figure out what I need to do for the week. I am dodging you. 100%, Jody. All right, let's see. Closes at 4, 3 hours. Y'all are a hoot. Y'all are staying home and doing your thing, and you're trying to shove me out the door. I think you're hilarious. It's Giovanna's job. How big? I don't know what you're talking about, Becky. How big? How big this Sew Expo is? QuiltCon. Well, yeah, it's actually it should be nice around that time. It'll be like 70. It's going to be 77 this week. It's been in the 50s and 60s. I have been frozen for days, but whoever suggested, I finally got the space heater, and I found one that works for me, and I love it. And I put the curtain down that blocks off my bathroom so I can just heat this part of the room. Oh, I love it. I'm not freezing very much anymore, though. I still need to do a little bit more to stay warm. Yeah, QuiltCon, because I became a member for the Modern Quilt Guild, they have all kinds of things online, but really it's I don't know, it is what it is, right? Oh, I have to make a live for my birthday. I thought you meant I have to make a living for my birthday, Giovanna. I misread that. I don't know what I'm gonna do? I have that unboxing. I have to have the unboxing. It's a Missouri Star Quilt Company boxing, so that has to be there. And it just worked out perfect to be on my birthday. There's only so many Fridays in February, right? Walmart groceries. Whoops. Just catching up on comments, everyone. Yeah, then there's something like 500 quilts or 1,000 quilts or something at QuiltCon. There's a ton of quilts, but I don't know. Oh, Sue made it. Hi, Sue. Oh, she's at wrestling. See, it's coming to that time of year that people start to do things on Saturday, so they can't always make it. Yeah, Walmart delivery. I had Sam's Club delivered too because I'm a Prime member. So if you spend $50, they'll deliver for you. So like every 3 months, I just buy a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, right, Lucy. Why can't Lucy says I can stay home and sew? Why are you guys harassing me like this, huh? I could do it. Oh wow, Sue's been going for wrestling a long time. Yeah, I'm learning. It's because in Florida, it was a habit, right? Oh, okay, I'm cold. Well, if I just wait a couple hours, my room's going to warm up. Well, I've been waiting since like Thanksgiving and my room has not warmed up. This week, though, from like 2 to 4, I'll open up my big window here. I mean, it's huge window, if you guys remember. It takes up most of the whole back wall. So I'll open up my window to let some fresh air in. Because you gotta remember it's desert living, so it's cold at night still, and then it's warm during the day. It's crazy weather. It's crazy weather. Just crazy because I'm used to Florida weather. Not like anything's bad, but I've learned I need to go to the store and find some like really warm socks until I can knit some socks. Because right now I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks because my feet get cold. So I've learned to just, who's going to see me, right? I'm in my room with the door shut. The kids are at work. Nobody cares. Nobody knows. So today I only have one t-shirt on because I knew I'd be warm. But I put a t-shirt on, and then I put a long sleeve shirt over it, and then I put a flannel shirt over that. And if I'm still cold, I'll put my big old flannel jacket on. And then when I warm up, I'll start taking the layers off. Nobody's going to know. And if I'm cold, I'm cold. It doesn't matter if you're cold. If I'm cold, then, I think I get colder more than other people. I don't know if it's the thyroid issue or something, or low blood circulation, or if I just run cold. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. If I'm cold, then it's okay for me to put something on to be warm, right? I don't have to suffer for people who aren't going to see me. That's just one of those things, like we do things because the quilt police or because the people online, and they get stuck in our head. And that's why I was thinking this morning, nobody's gonna see. So if I have to wear 2 socks because I have thin summer socks, and then the white crew socks that I bought were more of a stretchy hold your foot than to keep your foot warm sock. So I think I'm gonna have to go to like a hunting place or something and get some good socks. I need wool socks. Because I'm not wearing shoes, so my feet are cold. Admit it, you love us. Yes, I love you all. You guys torment me, but I still love you. Yeah, I can't go for hours. I just can't do hours. Here's the thing. I say I work 7 days a week, but sometimes this is me working. I just sit here and I'm like, my body hurts. It's like flu-like symptoms. My whole body just aches because of the neck issues. So sometimes it takes me until 1 o'clock. By the time I get out of the shower and do my morning routine, it might be 9 o'clock. And then I might write in my book and just think about stuff, but I just can't move. I can't walk for hours. I have to do small chunks. That's why I can't go hiking and stuff. I can only do little bits of stuff. So Jody, if I do it, I can do it, right? I can hang out with Jody all day. But then I would be in bed for a week, not being able to do anything. So I just have to be careful with my time and make sure I'm not overdoing and pushing myself. I know my limits. Sometimes I forget and I have to be careful. That's all. So Jody, I can't keep up with you. I'll have to sit down at the snack area and have a Pepsi and you can do laps and then come pick me up later. I do have slippers and I have slip-on shoes, but sometimes, I have a carpet and we have the fake wood plastic floor, so it's not as bad in the room. But those ceramic tiles in the rest of the house, oh my goodness, I don't leave my room without slippers or sneakers on. It's crazy. Well, that's because Tiffany is more comfortable than I am. You don't want to see me in my pajamas. My pajamas are comfy. They're not public pajamas. Heating pad on the floor for your feet. I've been putting the heater, I bought a Lasco, like the fans, Lasko, and normally I have it sitting up where I iron and it heats the room. But during the day, if I'm cold in the morning, I put it on the floor and I aim it at my feet. Because if my feet are warm, the rest of me are warm. My feet and my hands get cold all the time. Oh, there goes an ad. Yeah, I would need something, right? You'd need put me in a scooter or push me around or something. Yeah, little bits of time. If especially if I'm right here and like the Phoenix QuiltCon's, in Phoenix, so that's fine. It's an hour and come on, just one block, hour and so away. But the fairgrounds are only 32 minutes away, so I could go. And if the Sew Expo that Jody wanted me to go to, it's only $10, right? The QuiltCon was $50, so I got all 4 days or whatever for $50. Plus, I got a year membership in the Quilt Guild, so you can do things online. They have patterns and classes and whatever that you can do. So I don't consider it a waste because I've used it throughout the year. But for $10 a day, I would, because what are movies, $15 or something? For $10, I wouldn't mind going to the Sew Expo Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and only go for like 2 hours at a time. I would be happy with that. Wake up, Iron. That wouldn't bother me because I think that $40 would be 100% worth it. And it's like I couldn't do Disney all in one day. I'd have to do it in small chunks. Same thing with a Sew Expo. I don't go to anything where I have to push hard all day. And if I have to, I plan ahead for it. And that's just, it's something I've learned that I have to do, and I make certain accommodations for myself based on that. And I think it's okay. We do what we can and we make adjustments, right? I'm not the only one that's like this. Some people are like this just because they're a bit older, and some people have situations and conditions, and we all just adjust. That's what I do. I adjust. I thought it said it was per day, Jody. If it's good for all days, that's even better. I at this point for a year now going to the airport once a month, 2, 3 times a month, whatever. Good news, my daughter, knock on wood, so far I don't have to pick her up from the airport because her plane comes in at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, and I'm a morning person, but I'm no longer motivated in the morning anymore. Plus, when you go to the airport, the sun is right there in your eyes the whole time. So annoying, so dangerous, because everyone's doing at least 60 and zooming in and out around me, and I'm just like, I can't see. But yeah, so I've gotten used to that travel too. So to go to Phoenix is not a big deal. I'm really looking forward to, Jackie, you'll know where I'm talking about, is, okay, Phoenix is here, and I'm up here in Surprise. And when you go west, there's not that much west of Surprise. There's like farms and stuff and residential. So I need to go east on Bell Road, and they have like, I know Joann's, we don't know what's going on, but they've got Joann's, Hobby Lobby, 4 or 5 quilt shops, thrift stores, all the Dollar Trees are that way. So I need to start getting on Bell and going in the other direction. I've been going west a lot because that's where they have a 303 out there, the highway, and they're building new little strip malls like with all the stores. So to go shopping, that's where you go. So now I need to start going the other way where like Justin goes over to Peoria and stuff. He goes east and they have a whole bunch of other things that I've never seen. So I'm ready to start going that way. I just have to coordinate between my jobs and my daughter because I'm going to let my daughter use my car because Robbie's been using her car, and it'll just be easier because he goes to work at like 5 in the morning for her to borrow my car to go to work here in Surprise, just a couple miles away. I'm just going to clean up a little. We're going to trim these up and then we'll finish for the day. So I just need to let her know, like, I'm going to take the car this day. I mean, it's my car, right? So I can take it whenever I want. But again, people pleaser. I have to make everybody happy. Everyone must like me. So, you know, I just need to say, okay, I'm going to go this day and I'm going to go exploring. The weather is really nice, but to be honest, I don't mind going out in the summer because Florida girl can handle the heat. There's AC in the car, there's AC in the stores. It's not like it's a big deal anymore. I'm not driving a convertible where the sun's going to be beating down on my head. Although I have been thinking that I'm sure they have them, but I need to get a pair of like summer driving gloves because the steering wheels do get a little hot. I have a towel in my car that I can put over the steering wheel, but the sun still beats in. My windows aren't tinted or anything like that. I probably should tint it because my car is pretty much paid off. I think I only owe like $1,000 on it, so I could pay it off, but I'm just letting it go and pay off naturally because there's not that much interest left on it. But I should get my windows tinted. Random question, Robin. What size of shoe do I wear? I wear a 9.5 wide most of the time. I don't like to squish. I don't have like, my foot's a little bit wide. I don't have like a big fat foot. Like some of my kids have wide, flat feet. Mandy has narrow feet. Justin's are a little bit taller. Mine, I get a 9.5 wide for comfort because I don't like to have my foot squished. And, you know, my foot's a 9.5. There you go. More than you ever wanted to know about shoe sizes. Yeah, the big expo is a daily fee. Small one in November, one-time fee. Yeah. Oh, Ramona. Hi, Ramona. I didn't see you pop in. My apologies. Hello. Are you heading out, Lucy? Bye. I have a windshield thing that blocks the interior, and I have an old one. I bought a new one here that I put on the passenger side. So right now I have it on the front to protect my dashboard and one on the passenger. When I go to stores and stuff, I'll put it up. But if anything comes in like the driver's side, it still gets the steering wheel hot. Oh, my insurance, because we have full coverage, because I have full coverage even once the car loan's paid off. It covers any adult driver that gets in my car. Yeah, we make sure, because we all bounce back and forth with cars and stuff. I almost have the garage, all my boxes unpacked and put into plastic storage bins for the next move. I still need to sort through them, but I don't wanna. I own too much stuff. It's crafty things, you know, like I said, there's that box of fabric out there that I know what's in it, but I know when I start going through it, I'm gonna go, oh, that's where that went. I didn't know where that was. So it'll be fun. All right, head into the iron. S'moresy's gave up on us. She turned around and she's showing us her butt now. More of the S'mores just goes hardcore. She runs across the bed like a trampoline because she's just a little thing still. She's only about 8 pounds. She's kind of tiny like a 1-year-old cat because of her health issues. She didn't grow very big. So she's just a little thing, but she has so much energy. And then I just give her a little bit of catnip, and she has these things that my daughter got them on Amazon, and now I buy them. This thing here is called silver something or another. So I don't know why they give cats the rope and stuff. So I don't leave this out for her, but when she gets hyper, I give it to her. And then she chews on this, and then this stick has like catnip pressed onto it. And the catnip really mellows her out. So when she gets really hyper, and then she plays with this and she lays on top of it and she crashes hardcore. Otherwise, she just has so much energy, she can't seem to stop herself. So Mama knocks her out. If I was a mother in the 1950s, I pretty much feel like I would be giving my kids a little Jack Daniels on their lips to make them sleep. Did your grandparents and stuff ever tell you those stories? My grandparents did that with my father and stuff. So when my kids were little, I'm like, Grandma, we don't do that. We don't drug our kids up to put them to sleep. Apparently I just do it with my cat, but it's meant for them, so it's okay. She needs to be able to shut down and settle, right? Has anyone got anything else interesting happening today? Y'all know where I'm not going at this point. I've got to do the dishes. I do the dishes once a day, and whatever's left sits there until the next day. Because it's only me at home normally, like Monday through Thursday. Robbie works 4 10-hour days. So on Monday through Thursday, it's just me. So if I do the dishes in the morning before I shower, then the only dishes that occur are like my lunchtime and dinner time. So sometimes I wash them separately. So there's not a lot of dishes until the boys bring their lunch boxes home and stuff. So I'm gonna do dishes. I gotta put my table back together. So this one has that curve right here. So I'll just trim that curve off. Try to make it a little bit even. And we'll go from there. What we got going on? It's never too much if it's fabric, huh? Yeah, you have to have full coverage because you never really know what's going to happen. Yeah, you have to put like flood, like for here, flood goes, I know in Florida you had to have flood separate on, in addition to everything else. I don't know what it's here. Uh-oh. Oh, it's more of a protective so it doesn't bleed. I have a little slight cut at the tip. Now, my fingers do get those cracks that you guys have seen, but they usually go like this direction. So I don't know what this is. I was working on my patron video and I looked down at the batting that's outside of the project and there was a dot of blood. I'm like, uh-oh. So somehow I managed to just cut it right there. So I have the Band-Aid to go over the tip, but it's not a fingertip Band-Aid. I just did the thing where you slice the little legs of it so that you can put it on there. And then I put paper tape to hold the Band-Aid on because otherwise the tip slides back and forth. I just didn't want to get any blood on anything today while I was working. It's such a small little, it's like a paper cut, but it's right at the tip of the finger and it hurts. And if I press down like this, I don't want it to bleed anywhere. So just figure anytime you're going to see a wound or a Band-Aid on my fingers, I guess I have like thin skin or something on my fingers. They're always getting nicked and cut, and I keep missing the end of the block. There's always something going on. DNA evidence, right? Yeah, it's basically just a precaution to make sure you guys don't see anything. Yeah, right. I don't want to, if in the past, I told my kids, like anytime you got a gift from mom, let's just guarantee that there's a little bit of her DNA in it. Either there's a little bit of blood, or maybe I licked my fingers to grab something, because, you know, that's gross and we shouldn't do it. I'm very careful, just so you know, I'm very careful with things that go in the Etsy shop, and I've stopped most of those habits. And I wash my hands probably a dozen times a day. Anytime I do something, I treat it like, when I'm working with stuff like this or yarn, I always treat it like I'm working in a restaurant. You touch your face, you rub your nose because it itched, you go wash your hands. You eat, you wash your hands. You pet the cats, you wash your hands. Even though I can't keep the cat stuff off of my projects because it's in the air, I don't want to pet my cats and then touch something that I plan on selling to somebody. So I wash my hands a lot, which is probably why they are extra dry, but I'm constantly putting lotion on it. I have lotion right next to the sink in the bathroom. So if I wash my hands, I can put lotion on right away. And it's a non-greasy, hypoallergenic, so I don't have to worry about like touching anything afterwards. It doesn't leave any greasy stains or anything, which is nice. Yeah, I would think that our DNA, in that sense, we probably all have it in our projects somewhere. All right. So there is that. So we have 11. I know, that's why my fingers crack more here than they did in Florida, and it's crazy. It's just so dry here. There's no humidity in the air, no moisture at all. It's been bad. So I'm gonna bring you guys over here for a second. I want to see if I can move my sewing machine so we can lay out the blocks. There we go. Oh, I can't, there it is. I'm like, I can't see. So you could see I had the same fabric in that spot right there, and it's okay. And I also have the same purple, but again, it's okay. With 70 blocks, and I still have more rounds to put on everything, it's not going to matter that much. Some of these are bigger than others, but since I used about the same width of oh, that one's a big chunky one, the same width of fabric most times. Oh, look, I didn't trim one. Then they're gonna be about the same. They'll all work out in the end. I lost track because I had to trim a piece of fabric. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. So there we go. I think, yeah, I love the way these are turning out. They're so nice and bright and colorful. And these will get dispersed around so they're not all together. And if they are, it's still not that big of a deal, right? Sorry, my hands are a little shaky today. And the amount of fabric, I should be able to get all 90 blocks just out of this bit of fabric here. Plus, I need to add in some reds and some more yellows and greens. So the Crafty Godmother, what they sent me is just so much. It looks like you're not going to get 90 blocks out of that, but I've already gotten so many out of it, I'm getting 24 blocks, and it hasn't really gotten that much of a dent in it. Come with me for a second. I'm going to walk this way. I have to get foods for s'mores, and we're going to be done for the day. So if anyone has any questions, I did have some people asking about, let's go see s'moresies. Yeah, I had some grays. Hi, Morsey. She's such a beautiful girl. See, she's just a little thing. I had some like light grays and some creamy ones and stuff in the blocks.
and I did not really care for it. I wanted this to be more bright, bright, bright. And there is Whiskers. That's my big girl. So I tried that and I really just didn't care for it that much. So I'm sticking with just Rainbow Bright. So there it is. It's Rainbow Bright. All right. So while I've got the camera walking around, was there anything you wanted to see? Did you want to see a close up of the scrappy wall? Right? I could add more to it. But for this quilt specifically, I just wanted the bright, bright, bright. Yeah. Iowa has some crazy weather. All right, so these are the things that I'm trying to figure out here, right? So this is my shipping station, and those are just in case. I try to hide my pill container. Those are like my vitamins, and I have the elderberry and the vitamin D's and B's and all that stuff. So this is my shipping station. I have the Working Hands by O'Keefe, and I have the Overnight Working Hands. And if I catch it early enough, it works. But if it's already cracked open, it just burns like salt in an open wound or lemon juice in an open wound. And then I just use like tape or the arms of the band-aids, and I just hold it closed and stuff. So I have this space over here that's basically worthless because I can't get to down there. I use these things all the time. Oh, that spray and bond. I had to buy a new one because I use it for like pillows and mini quilts. Since August or October, it went up $5 all across the board everywhere. It went from $10 to $15 on Amazon. It was crazy. There's where I keep the good ruler. Look, February's flamingos, guys. I thought that was perfect for me. So I do have the rulers hanging up there. And then this is the ruler I used just to fold fabric, so it has its spot. So for my fabric, this is the fabric I paid for. You're going to see a little bit of my bathroom. Sorry, see the bathroom doesn't have anything. I hung up a curtain so I can close it when I shower and stuff. So here are my solids and semi-solids. This is the stuff I have to inventory at the end of the year because I paid for it. Polka dots. So here is one of these right here. Giovanna holds that quilt you're talking about. More shipping supplies, and that's where Mocha hangs out. But I want to clear out this space so I can put my little brother's sewing machine here so it's not on my table all the time. But I was looking at the rolling carts to put my in-progress projects in, but I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money just to store projects when I can just store them like that. You know what I'm saying? To get them off the shelf. But I don't know. Round and round we go. So let's see, I have to take my sewing machine off every time we do the live. I'm still working on this area. So here is all my big bins. You can see the rainbow ones in the videos. So I'm doing pretty good. You can see how they are a little bit low and then other ones are higher. I still need to figure out this mess. I've been looking at the Dollar Tree. They have those little metal shelves that you can put on there. But I think I'm going to have to take one of these shelves and go up to Lowe's and have them just cut one for me or a couple of them because this is not working because I look how deep they all are. I have to pull the green out to get to the purple, and I can't just put a piece of fabric in that's left over. So these areas are still in progress. That's the rolling cart. This thing is the greatest thing because I keep I keep my mints and my little hard candies in here, but it's easy and it's a great place to keep bobbins and thread. And then I have like my rotary cut. My son's like, hey, do you know the Dollar Tree has rotary cutters? I'm like, I appreciate it, but I'm good. Rotary cutters and different scissors. So this is a great rolling cart to keep things in. There's my chair, my new little warm blankie, and then I have just like a rail fence type quilt that I have there. So this is all kind of like working for me. See, you can see all the space we have. This is where the cats can run and go wild. I have the carpet here. This carpet, just to give you an idea, my studio in Florida when I lived in my own house, this is the size of the studio. This is the same carpet. I just bought a new one. There we go. That carpet is the same size as the room I had. Just to give you an idea about how big this room is, that was the one bedroom, and it had maybe a 2-foot border down one side and the other. Otherwise, you know. And then this is the way my bed is because I have to protect it from the cats. So there we go. Oh, you want to see outside my window? So there's the AstroTurf and the fire pit, and there's a cement wall. And you see that line of sun? That's about as close as it's going to get. Now, in the summer, it comes a little bit closer, but the sun never hits the back of this house, and it never warms up my room. And there's the air conditioner that you hear humming all summer long. So that's why I'm cold, because there's a covered porch out here, and the sun just never gets here. Hi, Sandra. S'moresies is just liking to talk to everyone today. So that's it. There's where I have my TV up there and stuff, and there's the bathroom. The bathroom's cold, and this room stays cold because, again, the vaulted ceilings and even turning the ceiling fan the other way doesn't help. And that's as far as I've gotten with my mini quilts. So I want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If I've missed any comments or question while doing a weird tour, my apologies. I just thought you guys might want to see all of the blocks together. I'll keep working on it. We'll come back on the 15th. I have no idea what we're going to work on, but it's National Flag Day in Canada, apparently. Maybe we'll do something for Valentine's Day. That's how far away my laptop is because there's s'moresies. So yeah, maybe we'll do something with hearts, or we'll work on the scrappy calculator things. I don't want to do the same thing all the time, but I also don't want to start new projects either. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. You guys go enjoy your weekend. There is the poll at the top if you guys want to say if you want to stay with Saturdays or move it. If everyone wants to stay on Saturdays, the next time we'll just figure out if we want to do it in the afternoon or the morning. I would send you guys to the next person that's doing a live stream, but I don't know who else is doing a live stream. We should figure that out, because if I press a button on my computer in YouTube, it'll send you directly to another live stream and you can just join them. I think that's really cool. Bye, guys.